Chapter 922. Rao Sherman had always missed Qin Feng, because Qin Feng meant a lot to her. When Rao Sherman was very young, it was Qin Feng who encouraged her to pursue her music career. Both of them reunited in Hong Kong, after half a year of separation. At this moment, Rao Sherman was so excited that she couldn't speak. No wonder he admired teacher Qiao Feng. And no wonder he had a favorable impression of Zheng Shuai. It turned out that both of them were Qin Feng. Haha, I told you Zheng Shuai is Qin Feng. Hurry up and change your face. Zhang Kuku was so excited that she danced with joy. Now, Qin Feng and Rao Sherman could be together, and she could share Qin Feng with Rao Sherman. Zhang Kuku had reached the age to talk about marriage. However, she didn't like dating, and had never found a man that she liked. On the other hand, Zhang Kuku had a good impression of Uncle Qiao Feng, so she decided to let Qin Feng take advantage of her in the future. The reunion of lovers was supposed to be a beautiful scene, but Qin Feng's face darkened after hearing Zhang Kuku's words. Do you think I'm an opera actor, who can change my face whenever you want? I can't. Can you stop rubbing your feet against my pants? My pants are torn. Qin Feng glared at Zhang Kuku. Zhang Kuku pouted and stood on the sofa. She was a head taller than Qin Feng. She stuck the fireball talisman on Qin Feng's forehead and said, I don't care. Hurry up and change your face, or I'll chant a spell. Qin Feng almost fainted from anger. Rao Sherman quickly pulled Zhang Kuku away. After listening to Qin Feng's words, Rao Sherman believed that the Zheng Shuai in front of her was Qin Feng. This was because only Qiao Feng knew some things about Provincial Capital University. Not long ago, Qin Feng had announced 3 identities, and one of them was Qiao Feng. Sherman, you're getting more and more beautiful. Qin Feng and Rao Sherman ignored Zhang Kuku. Qin Feng took a step forward and embraced Rao Sherman. Rao Sherman's delicate body trembled. She was so nervous that her heart almost jumped out of her throat. It had been a long time since she was hugged by a man. Her heart raced as if it was her first love. Rao Sherman didn't struggle. She slowly calmed down. Qin Feng's warm embrace made her forget all her worries. Both of them were a golden couple. Moreover, they had not seen each other for a long time. Qin Feng slowly moved his face closer to Rao Sherman and kissed her. Big brother Qin Feng, do you think Kuku is pretty? Qin Feng was 1 centimeter away from kissing her, when he suddenly felt someone kick his butt. No. Qin Feng turned around and glared at Zhang Kuku before he kissed Rao Sherman. Nonsense. Everyone said that I'm pretty. Zhang Kuku kicked Qin Feng again at this critical moment. Nonsense. Good, you've grown prettier. Feng. Is it because your nose is higher, your eyes are bigger, and your chest is perkier? Qin Feng had no choice but to let go of Rao Sherman's slender waist. He realized that Zhang Kuku was deliberately causing trouble. Qin Feng's lensman's Qin Feng had Feng. Zhang Qing Feng Shan. Ku Feng had Feng's Feng by Feng's Ku Feng. Zhang Kuku pouted and kicked Qin Feng's legs. I don't want to go back to the house. I want to stay here. We still have business to attend to. It's not convenient for you to stay here. Qin Feng chased Zhang Kuku away. Why is this girl so blind? The sofa over there is spacious. Go ahead and do it. Don't worry. I won't say a word, and I won't tell anyone. Rao Sherman was embarrassed to death by Zhang Kuku's words. The desire in her heart vanished. She held Zhang Kuku's arm and sat on the sofa. Qin Feng, let's watch TV. Rao Sherman said shyly. Okay. The Teletubbies are here. Let's watch it together. Zhang Kuku turned on the TV and watched the Teletubbies. Rao Sherman didn't like it, but Qin Feng didn't want to do anything flirtatious, since she was sitting beside Zhang Kuku. Zhang Kuku was infuriated by Qin Feng. This girl is really a burden. I must think of a way to get rid of her. Qin Feng watched cartoons in his room for the whole afternoon. He was so depressed that he almost died. In the end, he still couldn't find a chance to be alone with Rao Sherman. Zhang Kuku, on the other hand, was overjoyed. She giggled from time to time. Rao Sherman's mind was clearly not on the cartoon. She stole glances at Qin Feng from time to time. Every time their eyes met, Rao Sherman shyly avoided Qin Feng's gaze like a startled little deer. Ever since Qin Feng revealed his identity to the pretty girls duo, Rao Sherman and Zhang Kuku had become more intimate with Qin Feng. This made Ma Xinxin depressed. Previously, Rao Sherman had always rejected Qin Feng whenever he asked for more sex scenes. However, in the past few days of filming, whenever Qin Feng asked for sex scenes, Rao Sherman would lie on the bed with Qin Feng and roll around him, without a second thought. Although the scenes were fake, and they didn't really have sex, they hugged and touched each other. Ma Xinxin went back to the hotel every day with a belly full of resentment. She even wanted Mr. Gu to give her the role of the female lead in the film. Ma Xinxin went back to the hotel every day with a stomach full of resentment. Zhang Kuku, Rao Sherman, and Ao Shaowan fought to have sex scenes with Qin Feng every day. However, Shuer was as cold as ever. She rejected Qin Feng's rude request every time and distanced herself from Qin Feng. After 10 days of shooting in Hong Kong, Qin Feng and Rao Sherman had finished half of the movie. According to the script, the other half of the movie would be shot in America. After shooting the movie in Hong Kong, Boss Gu invited all the crew members and the main cast to a private room. Qin Feng and the other superstars sat in a private room, and Boss Gu toasted them one by one. Superstar Zheng Shuai, I'm so happy to meet you. I've been in China's film industry for more than 10 years, and I've made countless superstars famous. However, I've never seen a superstar who can reach your level of professionalism and superb acting skills. I'm not bragging. I've never seen a superstar like you before. Boss Gu was extremely agitated, as if he had vented all his pent-up emotions. Hey Gu, what about me? What about me? How's my acting and professionalism? Everyone knew that Boss Gu was being sarcastic. However, since he had been very obedient lately, no one dared to argue with him. Zhang Kuku jumped up and down stupidly. She couldn't wait for Boss Gu to praise her. Boss Gu was stunned for a moment. Then he laughed loudly. Haha. Superstar Kuku is even better than Zheng Shuai. Really? This is my first time acting. It seems like Kuku is born to be an all-rounder. Zhang Kuku was so excited that she danced with joy. The others were amused by her silly behavior. Ao Shaowan also attended the banquet. When he heard Boss Gu cursing in front of him, he was instantly displeased. Hey Gu, what the fuck are you talking about? Do you believe that I won't smash your head with a bottle of wine? Boss Gu drank some wine and wanted to vent his anger. However, just as he raised his voice, he was frightened by Ao Shaowan's roar. Hee. Miss Wan, I am sorry. I was just too happy, so. You can't do that even if you're happy. Only big brother Zheng Shuai can curse. No one else can, not even me. Ever since Ao Shaowan met Qin Feng, she went to the set every day and spoiled Qin Feng. Later on, everyone in the set was afraid of offending Qin Feng. They had to use honorifics when speaking to Qin Feng, and think carefully about every word they used. Boss Gu grumbled in his heart and muttered, Didn't you curse when you scolded me just now? Ao Shaowan sat back down and jumped up angrily. She slammed the table and glared at Boss Gu. What are you muttering about? When the fuck have I ever said such vulgar words? Boss Gu was so scared that she swallowed her saliva and said with a smile. And no. Ao Shaowan sat back down with satisfaction. She immediately took Qin Feng's arm and leaned on his shoulder like a little bird. She said sweetly, Big brother Zheng Shuai, what do you want to eat? I'm going to feed you. Boss Gu couldn't stay any longer. He ran to the private room of the working group to show off. In that room, he was the boss. Rao Sherman and Ma Xinxin were also stunned by Ao Shaowan's changing behavior. They ate a few mouthfuls of food and couldn't eat anymore. Shuai stood up and left halfway through her meal. She had been a loner recently, so everyone was used to it. But this time, when Shuai walked to Qin Feng's side, she suddenly stopped. Mr. Zheng Shuai, are you free tonight? Come to my room later. I want to have a private chat with you. Shuai left after saying that. When Ao Shaowan came back to his senses and wanted to fight with Shuai, he found that Shuai was gone. Zhang Kuku and Ao Shaowan started to badmouth Shuai. Rao Sherman and Ma Xinxin were a little unhappy, but they hid it in their hearts and didn't say it out loud. Qin Feng put down his chopsticks and leaned back in his chair. He had lost his appetite and was thinking about the reason why Shuai suddenly asked him to go. Qin Feng had been investigating Shuai recently. He was 90% sure that Shuai was the owner of the Sovereign Star System. Qin Feng was also sure that Shui Er had also discovered that he was the owner of the sovereign star system. Otherwise, she wouldn't have suddenly distanced herself from him. This woman's behavior was becoming more and more abnormal. According to the mission issued by the Hedonist system, as long as he devoured the sovereign star system, he would be rewarded with 100,000 Hedonist points, a system unsealing tool, and a rare pink equipment lucky draw ticket. These rewards were extremely tempting and would be of great help to Qin Feng. Of course, Qin Feng wanted to devour Shui Er's system, but he was also worried that she would devour his system instead. Zheng Shui, what's wrong? Rao Sherman asked worriedly when she saw Qin Feng was in a daze. Haha, I'm fine. Oh right, I have something to do. You guys continue eating. Qin Feng came back to his senses, stood up, and walked outside. He had decided that he would complete this mission sooner or later. Qin Feng wanted to go to Shui Er's room now. Would this woman bite? Zongheng's double monthly votes event has been activated. You can vote now. Chapter 923. This fickle-minded stinky man should be struck to death by lightning. Ma Xinxin complained as soon as Qin Feng left. Ma Xinxin was not the only one who misunderstood Qin Feng. Rao Sherman, Zhang Kuku, and Ao Shaowan all had the same thought. Qin Feng had nothing to do but flirt with Shui Er. How dare he flirt with girls when he's so ugly? Zhang Kuku never held back when she spoke ill of Qin Feng behind his back. However, she began to act cute and innocent in front of Qin Feng. That girl is called Shui Er, right? I'll ask the people of the Hong sect to kick her out of Hong Kong tomorrow. Ao Shaowan had the air of a big sister. When she flared up, the other three girls were a little nervous. Rao Sherman was also a little annoyed, but she didn't say it out loud. These four beauties represented four different personalities. Qin Feng sneezed as he walked along the street. He thought he might have caught a cold last night. I must cover myself with a quilt tonight. You're here. Qin Feng rang the doorbell. Soon Shui Er opened the door. Qin Feng's gaze fell on Shui Er, and he was dazed for a moment. Cher had taken off her black fur coat, high heels and black leather pants. All that was left on her was a thin silk nightgown, with a shawl draped over her shoulders. Snow was pure and beautiful, and her body was hot and sexy. With these two temptations, any man who saw Snow at this moment would not be able to resist the urge to push her down. Miss Shui Er, are you going to bed? Will I disturb your rest if I look for you now? Qin Feng suppressed the evil fire in his belly. This woman was not as simple as she looked. If he fell into her trap, he wouldn't even know how he died. A complicated expression flashed across Shui Er's beautiful eyes when she saw the evil fire flashing in Qin Feng's eyes. She didn't expect Qin Feng to be so strong-willed. Haha, even if I want to sleep, I'll accompany you no matter how late it is since the superstar Zheng Shui is here. Shui Er stretched out her slender, jade-like hand, and placed it on Qin Feng's arm, pulling him into the house. Qin Feng was not in the mood to enjoy the softness and smoothness of Snow's arms. He was constantly on guard against this woman's every move. If Snow did anything threatening, Qin Feng would subdue her mercilessly. It wasn't that Qin Feng didn't know how to have tender and protective feelings for the fairer sex. His momentary kindness could very well cause him to be buried in a sea of fire. Miss Shui Er, we're just friends. Don't you think it's a little inappropriate for you to be so close to me? Qin Feng looked at Shui Er with a smile. Recently, Shui Er had been keeping her distance from Qin Feng. Tonight, however, she seemed to have changed into a different person. She was as passionate as fire. As the saying goes, there must be a reason behind everything. Superstar Zheng Shui, you already said that we're friends, so you don't have to be so polite. Just treat yourself as if you're at home when you're here. I just want to greet you warmly, lest your crazy Zheng Shui fans eat me alive if I don't treat you well. Shui Er's coquettish voice carried a slight Beijing accent, causing Qin Feng to become even more wary. This woman had indeed grown up in the capital. In the capital, Qin Feng had too many enemies to count. The two of them sat on the sofa. Shui Er didn't sit next to Qin Feng. Instead, she sat across from him. However, this woman intentionally half-bent her upper body and pulled down the neckline of her red spaghetti strap dress, revealing a dazzling expanse of snow white. Beautiful Shui Er, Did you call me over in the middle of the night to show me your chest? Qin Feng stared at Shui Er's chest with a smile. Shui Er's pretty face turned red with a whoosh. Qin Feng saw a flash of coldness in the depths of her eyes, as well as an almost imperceptible murderous intent. Haha, you're so naughty staring at my private parts. You're not doing this on purpose. Otherwise I wouldn't have the nerve to look. Qin Feng was trying to think of a way to infuriate Shui Er. Then there's no point in just looking. Why don't you feel it? Shui Er's beautiful, starry eyes shone with a demonic light. Qin Feng put on a pig face and pretended to lose his soul. How do I feel it? You're so annoying. How else can I feel it? Just a touch or a kiss will do. Shui Er was as shy as a little girl in love for the first time. However, most people couldn't see the coldness hidden within her. Haha, so then can I suck it? Qin Feng's mouth was wide open, and his saliva was dripping out. A deep sense of disgust flashed through Shui Er's eyes. She was on the verge of exploding. However, she quickly maintained her seductive expression and said shyly, Then you have to be gentler. No, otherwise it'll hurt. Qin Feng was taken aback. He said excitedly, Do you want to kiss me? Sure. Gentler. Just as Shui Er finished speaking, Qin Feng's dragon claw reached out. Shui Er shrieked in pain, and tears welled up in her eyes. What are you doing? Shui Er was enraged. She slapped Qin Feng's pig trotter away. Didn't you tell me to kiss you? I'm going to touch you first. I'll kiss you after I get the feeling. Qin Feng said with a straight face. Shui Er rolled her eyes. After a long while she said, Didn't I tell you to be gentler? Yeah, gentler. Qin Feng looked at Shui Er, as if she was an idiot. Did you touch the wrong spot? Shui Er was stunned for half a minute. She finally understood what Qin Feng was talking about. Shui Er was so angry that her snow-white skin flushed red. You're a singer, and I like music as well. Let me play a song for you. The atmosphere froze for a moment. Then, Shui Er walked to the corner of the living room. She opened the curtains and placed a guzheng behind it. I didn't expect the beautiful Shui Er to know how to play the guzheng. Qin Feng looked at Shui Er with a smile, but he was already on high alert. Shui Er did not speak. She sat down in front of the guzheng with a cold expression. She plucked the strings with her index finger, and a beautiful melody reverberated in the room. Thump, thump, thump. This was a very beautiful song, but Qin Feng had never heard it before. In fact, the melody was a little strange. It didn't sound like a song of this era. It had a deep and distant feel to it. Shui Er seemed to have transformed into another person as she played the guzheng. Her aura changed subtly, and the light in her eyes became more bewitching. Her long hair fluttered even though there was no wind. It was as if a white-haired witch was playing the soul lullaby. That's right, the melody was called the soul lullaby. Qin Feng sat on the sofa. When the song started playing, he felt an invisible force pulling him in. Qin Feng entered an illusory space. He was the only person inside. He couldn't hear the sounds of the outside world. His mind kept reverberating with the tune of the soul-luring song. Qin Feng realized that he had been tricked. He tried his best to bring his consciousness back to reality, but Qin Feng found that it was all in vain. No matter how hard he tried, he couldn't get rid of the demonic voice in his head. The soul lullaby was a demonic tune. It was a high-level offensive skill of the demon race. Other demonic tunes included the lion's roar, thousand-mile voice transmission, and the tsunami roar of the black tortoise. Recently, Qin Feng had been thinking about Shui Er's attack style. That was because Snow's body didn't emit any energy waves. She wasn't even a martial artist, so how could she defeat him? Now, Qin Feng understood that Shui Er used demonic tunes to attack him. This soul lullaby was probably a high-level skill Shui Er obtained from the Sovereign Superstar system. However, it was too late by the time Qin Feng realized this. Even though Qin Feng had put up a lot of defenses, he didn't expect Cher to use this method to trick him. Qin Feng felt his consciousness fading away. He couldn't even control the basic movements of his limbs. If Shui Er tried to harm Qin Feng, or devoured his hedonist sovereign system, Qin Feng wouldn't be able to fight back. Master, wake up. You can't fall asleep. Master, focus. Don't listen to that woman's demonic tunes. Shimen Shui Shui, and Ouyang Feng's anxious screams suddenly resounded in Qin Feng's mind. However, he could only hear them. He couldn't answer them, and he couldn't pull himself back to reality. The flaming golden eagle and glacial snow mastiff also sensed danger. The two spiritual beasts roared angrily, trying to use their roars to wake their master up. "Master, hurry! Hurry up and use demon sound roar." Qin Feng felt his eyelids getting heavier and heavier. Just as he was about to close his eyes, Little Pig's shriek reached his ears. Qin Feng's eyes lit up. He suddenly remembered the demon sound roar. Roar! Qin Feng used all his strength to roar. However, his roar was as soft as a mosquito's. Qin Feng didn't give up. He roared again and again. The information about the demon sound roar flooded Qin Feng's mind. The unfamiliar information made Qin Feng's head hurt. Roar! Qin Feng opened his mouth and let out a low roar like a dying dog. Roar, roar! This time, Qin Feng roared like a tiger coming down the mountain. Qin Feng felt his body quickly regaining its senses. His consciousness also became clearer. The scene in front of him was no longer a void under the starry sky. The sofa, the television, the floorboards, and the floor-to-ceiling windows all became clear. Roar! Qin Feng suddenly stood up and regained control of his body. Qin Feng roared with all his might. The entire room seemed to shake slightly, and the floorboards made creaking sounds. This was no longer the roar of a wild beast. It was more like a muffled thunder that struck down from the sky. The muffled thunder crashed into the living room, startling Shui Er so much that she broke a few notes of the soul lullaby she was playing. Qin Feng stood ramrod straight like a towering mountain. His black eyes were like an awakened lion, emitting a steady and cold murderous aura. Chapter 924. Snow panicked. She was a master of the zither, calm as still water. She could play a song fluently and smoothly. However, after Qin Feng's demonic roar appeared, it completely disrupted Shui Er's state of mind. Her fingers became stiff, and her tune was cut off. The demonic tune became disorganized and lost its original power. Qin Feng glared at Snow like a starving beast glaring at a plump sheep. Qin Feng's demonic roar did not stop. Instead, it became more and more ferocious. Rumble! The roar was as loud as thunder. It was as if the divine dragon in the sky had been angered and let out a dissatisfied roar. The clear night sky was suddenly filled with dark clouds, as if a thunderstorm was coming. Clang, clang, clang. The zither in front of Shui Er suddenly snapped, and the strings snapped one by one. One of the strings struck Shui Er's tender hand, and a few drops of blood dripped down. "Snow, you're finally exposed." Qin Feng's voice was filled with uncontrollable excitement. Snow, who had been in an advantageous position, was now in a disadvantageous position. She was so frightened that her delicate body began to tremble. "Don't hurt me, I beg you." Snow looked at Qin Feng pitifully. "Shui Er, this is a society where the weak are prey to the strong. Don't blame me. When you tried to harm me just now, you didn't hold back at all." Qin Feng's voice was filled with a devilish quality. It was like the voice of a demon king. "I only wanted to hypnotize you. I didn't want to kill you." Snow tried to defend herself, but Qin Feng did not believe her. "It's too late to say that now. You're the first person I've met who has a system. I'm actually quite close to you. You should know that there aren't many systems on Earth. People like us are even rarer than martial artists, pharmacists, and spiritual beast masters. Then please spare me this time. I can give you a lot of benefits." Snow was so frightened that she fell on her butt and hid in a corner. Previously, she had received a notification from the Supreme Superstar System that there were other systems nearby. This was the first time Shui Er had encountered another system after obtaining the system. At the time, she had been even more shocked and afraid than Qin Feng. During this time, Shui Er had been investigating Qin Feng. In the end, she confirmed that Qin Feng was the owner of the Hedonist sovereign system. The Hedonist sovereign system was many times more powerful than the sovereign superstar system. And so, Shui Er began to distance herself from Qin Feng, on guard against him. Originally, the two of them did not have any grudges against each other. In fact, they were strangers who had never met before. However, due to personal reasons, Cher had no choice but to get close to Qin Feng. She knew that she could not defeat Qin Feng, so she could only use the soul-luring song to control him. Who would have thought that she would fail in the end? Qin Feng roared incessantly as he approached Shui Er step by step. The penetrating power of the demonic roar was extremely strong. Not only this room, but the entire Hong Kong International Hotel was filled with the tune of the demonic roar. Demon Sound Howl was a reward given to Qin Feng for completing the I'm a Superstar side quest. According to the system's introduction, Demon Sound Howl was a secret demonic cultivation technique. It was similar to the Lion's Roar technique. Once the Demon Sound Howl was released, low-level martial artists' consciousness would be disrupted, and they would lose their ability to fight. When ordinary people heard the demonic roar, and their consciousness was disturbed, they would release their instincts and do what they most wanted to do in the depths of their hearts. In the banquet hall of the hotel, Rao Sherman and the other women hadn't left the banquet yet. A series of strange noises drifted into their ears. The women's expressions gradually became absent-minded, and their originally bright and clear beautiful eyes became abnormally empty. Ha ha ha. That's right, I Ao Shawan am Hong Kong's #1 big sister. Who doesn't like it? I'm going to fight him to the death with my machete. Ao Shawan suddenly picked up a chair beside her and rushed to the private room where Chairman Gu and the others were seated. Rao Sherman looked as if she was sleepwalking. She slowly stood up and sang her favorite song. Because of you. Zhang Kuku seemed to have gone mad. She jumped onto the dining table, grabbed the chicken drumstick and steak on the plate, and started wolfing them down. Ma Xinshin suddenly ran in circles in the empty private room. As she ran, she gritted her teeth and said, I want to lose weight. I want to lose weight. A series of smashing and screams came from the private room next door. Ao Shawan swung the chair and violently beat Chairman Gu. After Chairman Gu heard the demonic roar, he even took off his pants. He grabbed 2 beautiful staff members of the director team and was about to have sex with them. In the end, he was chased around the room by Ao Shawan and was so scared that Chairman Gu's pants were wet. In the lobby on the first floor of the hotel, a group of beautiful receptionists were all lying on the ground. They received hundreds of guests every day, and their faces were stiff from all the smiling. After releasing their instincts, they just wanted to sleep. A group of security guards chased the lobby manager and beat him up. Usually, these security guards were scolded by the manager. Now it was time for them to release their instincts and release their resentment. Above the 10th floor was the guest room area. Every floor's corridors were filled with undulating screams. These guests were originally here to book a room and fight. At this moment, all of them were wild and more ferocious than Beast Shui Er's room. Shui Er was also affected by the demonic roar. Her eyes began to blur, and her reaction after releasing her instincts was beyond Qin Feng's expectation. Snow huddled in the corner of the wall, looking extremely helpless and afraid. Her beautiful face was furrowed into a frown and her large eyes blinked frantically. I have something in my head. I am so scared. I don't want a system. I'm scared. I just want to be an ordinary person. Shui Er's body was trembling, and so was her voice. This was the first time she admitted that she had a system. However, Shui Er and Qin Feng were different. Qin Feng was excited to have a system, but Shui Er was worried and afraid. She didn't want to have a system. She was just an ordinary little girl. Qin Feng's roar gradually subsided. Looking at the trembling Shui Er in the shadows, the fragile side of Qin Feng's heart was suddenly awakened. Shui Er had no grudge against him. This was all an arrangement of fate. 2 people with systems bumped into each other, and they had no choice but to kill each other. The demonic roar stopped. Time seemed to have stopped at this moment. Rao Sherman and the other women in the private room suddenly came to their senses. Everyone was startled and looked at their own actions blankly. They almost couldn't recognize themselves. Ao Xiaowan's chair smashed into Chairman Gu's head. Chairman Gu rolled on the floor in pain. The memory of what happened just now had disappeared. Chairman Gu had just woken up when Ao Xiaowan threw a chair at him. He wanted nothing more than to tear Ao Xiaowan into pieces. What's wrong with this woman? The people in the private room were stunned. Those who didn't close the door quickly closed it. A dozen couples in the corridor hastily pulled up their pants and ran to their rooms. A few unfamiliar couples had already started fighting. Some of the women even called the police. Qin Feng didn't know that his demonic roar had caused such a series of crazy effects. He was a little absent-minded. Looking at the pitiful Shui heir, Qin Feng couldn't bear to kill her. Little pig, do I have to kill Shui heir to devour her superstar system? No, master. Killing the owner of the system is the most inferior way to devour the system. But it's also the simplest and most violent way. If Shui heir is killed and master wants to devour the ultimate superstar system, you'll need the system unsealing tool to unseal it, and make the superstar system acknowledge master as its host. Apart from that, you can also make Shui heir voluntarily submit to master, and let master devour her system. Little Pig explained a lot of things. Qin Feng sorted them out. To put it simply, there were two ways to devour the system. One was to kill it by force, and the other was to make it submit to him. Bang! A loud sound rang out, startling Qin Feng. When he looked at the corner of the room, Shui heir had already disappeared. The floor-to-ceiling window beside him was smashed. They were on the 13th floor, and Shui heir had jumped down from the 13th floor. Qin Feng hurriedly rushed to the window. Although it was the 13th floor, and it was night time, Qin Feng could see clearly with his night vision goggles. A pile of glass shards fell to the ground. There was no blood, and Shui heir was nowhere to be seen. This woman actually escaped. Little Pig, locate Shui heir for me. Qin Feng's eyes were ablaze with fire. He regretted not killing Shui heir earlier. Master, it'll cost you 200,000 hedonist points. Little Pig said. Qin Feng only had 13,200 hedonist points. He was shocked by the cost of locating Shui heir. Why is it so expensive? Master, as the owner of the sovereign star system, Shui heir must have spent a lot of hedonist points to conceal herself. Therefore, if you want to locate her, you'll need to spend a lot of hedonist points to break the concealment formation on her body. Little Pig explained. Qin Feng looked at the boundless night sky and punched the frame of the floor-to-ceiling window. The huge frame of the floor-to-ceiling window collapsed with a loud bang, creating a huge pit on the ground. Master, you're too soft-hearted. Ouyang Feng sighed. Shimen Chui Shui shook his head and said nothing. These two heroes were existences who killed without batting an eyelid. They felt that their master was too kind. You can't say that. The main point is that Shui heir is a beauty. Master, you cut him into pieces. Little Pig's words hit the nail on the head. Shimen Chui Shui and Ouyang Feng nodded in realization. The corner of Qin Feng's mouth twitched. He was rendered speechless by Little Pig's words. Not long after, dozens of police cars were parked in front of the International Hotel. The alternating red and blue lights dazzled everyone's eyes. Rauscher Man and the girls ran to Shui heir's room and knocked on the door. Are you alright, Zheng Shui? I think something strange happened just now. After Qin Feng's demonic roar disappeared, everyone regained their senses. The first thing the four girls did was to look for Qin Feng. Zhang Kuku ran around the room like a giant mouse the moment she entered the room. Then, she ran to the living room and yelled, "Shit shit! Zheng Shui has raped and killed Shui heir. He even dismembered her body and flushed it down the toilet." The girls rolled their eyes. They were completely speechless. This woman must have watched too many horror movies. Qin Feng knocked Zhang Kuku's head and said sternly, "Shui heir suddenly left due to an urgent matter. I don't think she'll be back." Since Qin Feng had discovered Shui heir's identity as the system, he believed that Shui heir would hide from him in the future. Naturally, she would not come back. Rauscher Man and the girls nodded doubtfully. Zhang Kuku ran to the empty floor-to-ceiling window and looked at the empty floor beneath her feet. She was so frightened that she started to scream. "Ah shit! Shit!" Shui heir refused to submit to Zheng Shui, so Zheng Shui pushed Shui heir down the stairs. Chapter 925. Shui heir really left. She never showed up again. At that time, Zhang Kuku suspected that Qin Feng was up to no good, so Shui heir jumped down from the 13th floor. However, Rauscher Man and the other two girls didn't believe her. Qin Feng had so many beauties around him that he wouldn't do something so stupid, right? However, Shui heir never returned. It was as if she had suddenly disappeared. Rauscher Man and the other two girls started to believe her. If Qin Feng didn't act like a beast that night, would Shui be so scared that she wouldn't show up again? Shui had even cancelled her contract with Hedonist Sovereign. Many things that happened that night were reported on the Hong Kong TV news, and all of them were related to Qin Feng. Due to the weather change caused by the demonic roar, the weather station issued an emergency typhoon warning. However, there wasn't even a drizzle that night, causing the people of Hong Kong to complain about the weather station for the whole night. Some reporters specifically interviewed the International Hotel. According to them, at 8:39 that night, a supernatural incident happened in the International Hotel. All the guests and staff in the building forgot what happened in the next 10 minutes. According to the dozens of interviewees, everyone seemed to be possessed by ghosts during the last 10 minutes. They couldn't remember what they did. However, when they woke up, they were shocked by what they did. When the reporter continued to ask everyone what they had done at the time, everyone unanimously remained silent. Other than the weather and supernatural news, there was also the news about the Hong Kong police. According to the surveillance video, at 8:52, someone jumped down from the 13th floor, room 1303. However, the woman suddenly disappeared. She didn't fall to her death, but she was nowhere to be found. The few pieces of news linked together made the people of Hong Kong fearful and in awe. The International Hotel suddenly became a forbidden place in the hearts of the people of Hong Kong. Apart from Qin Feng and the others who stayed there, no other guests dared to stay there. The filming of Hedonist Sovereign in Hong Kong was completed. The group of people rushed to America early in the morning. When they left, Qin Feng felt a little guilty. He felt that he had wronged the International Hotel. At the airport of America, Qin Feng and the others got off the plane. It was also the first time the beauties had come to America. They looked left and right, and chattered like happy little birds. The main production team of Hong Kong's House of Millions Media came along. The pretty girls group came. Ma Xinxin, as Qin Feng's top manager, was naturally there. Ao Shawan insisted on coming along, and no one dared to stop her. Mr. Gu did not come. He had suffered enough in Hong Kong. He was afraid that if he came to the United States, he would be angered to death by Zhang Kuku and Ao Shawan. Welcome to America. Two golden-haired men in suits and leather shoes walked over to Qin Feng, and the others with 4 female assistants, who had a strong local accent. Hello. We're actors from House of Millions Media from Hong Kong. We're going to shoot a movie in America for half a month. Please take care of us in the future. Rao Sherman took the initiative to talk to them. Her English was very fluent. Hello, beauty. I've received a call from Mr. Gu. We're here to receive you. One of the men with gold-rimmed glasses spoke in Chinese. Although his Chinese was a little clumsy, everyone could understand him. Everyone heaved a sigh of relief when they saw that the man could speak Chinese. Otherwise, it would be tiring to communicate in English and have to translate. Hello. My name is Rao Sherman. This is my group member, Zhang Kuku. That's the superstar Zheng Shui, her manager Ma Xinxin, and the superstar Ao Shawan. Rao Sherman took the initiative to introduce everyone. However, Rao Sherman paused when she introduced Ao Shawan. She did not know how to introduce Ao Shawan. The man with the gold-rimmed glasses smiled and said, Hello everyone. Welcome to America. I'm Henry, the production director of Can Film Group. And this is the most capable director in our company, Tom. Tom, who stood beside Henry, grinned and revealed his yellow teeth. It seemed like he smoked a lot. Please get in the car. We'll show you around the company. After the introductions were over, Qin Feng and the women boarded a commercial vehicle, while the staff of Hong Kong's Media of Millions boarded another van. Henry and Tom were at the back of the group. Both of them were elegant and gentlemanly, but now, they had a wretched smile on their faces as they stared at the buttocks of Rao Sherman and the other beauties. Director Tom, these Chinese chicks are very hot. Henry, who wore the gold-rimmed glasses, rubbed his chin and smirked. They're not only hot, they're the best. I've been a director for more than 10 years, and I've worked with hundreds of Chinese female stars. I can count the number of people who can compare to these 4 chicks with one hand. Tom's eyes were glowing as he spoke. Hee hee, then we're in luck this time. I like the chick in the white cheongsam. Her name is Sherman, I think. And her teammate, she has a childish face and huge breasts. I'm excited just by looking at them. Henry had already chosen his targets. Tom grinned and said, "All right, you can have those too. I'm interested in the other two. Look at that chick named Xian. Her butt is so big. I'm sure the sound she makes when she's having sex is very rhythmic. That chick one has an air of arrogance about her. Haha, we'll have a lot of fun tonight." The two of them looked at each other and laughed. Their eyes were filled with wickedness. Tom and Henry only cared about the four beauties. They did not mention Qin Feng at all because they thought nothing of him. After the women boarded the BMW, Henry and Tom boarded the other BMW. The motorcade slowly drove toward America's Can Film and Television Group. Wow. Sherman, look. That's Jason Statham. He's filming on the street. The beauties in Qin Feng's car screamed incessantly. Through the car window, Zhang Kuku saw a movie being filmed on the street. The main character was her favorite hunk, Statham. She was so excited that she climbed onto Qin Feng's lap and wiggled her buttocks excitedly. Those European-style buildings are so beautiful. I like them. Ma Xinxin clapped her hands happily as she watched the flying castles. Ao Xiaowan preferred the people who were rapping and dancing on the street. Rao Sherman was relatively quiet. She stared blankly at the unfamiliar city. Qin Feng's eardrums were about to burst because of Zhang Kuku's screams. He picked her up and threw her to the side. Zhang Kuku pouted and yelled unhappily, "Hey! Why did you throw me away? I can't even see my Statham. You broke my thigh." Qin Feng was also very displeased. Rao Sherman and the other two girls stopped looking out of the car window. 6 pairs of eyes were fixed on Qin Feng's crotch. "Is my thigh going to break? Will it be okay there? This is related to everyone's sexual happiness in the future." "Ahem. Don't worry. The important part is fine." Qin Feng saw through the women's thoughts and hastily clarified himself. Pervert. Shameless. The 3 women rolled their eyes at Qin Feng. They would never admit their true thoughts even if they were beaten to death. Qin Feng didn't feel bored at all since he was accompanied by beautiful women in the car. After a while, the car stopped in front of a magnificent palace. The women got out of the car. Zhang Kuku and Ao Xiaowan were running around. Their screams could be heard everywhere. Rao Sherman and Ma Xinxin were taking pictures of each other. Wow! Is this the office of Can Film Group? It's as gorgeous as the White House. Zhang Kuku ran to Qin Feng's side and jumped around with her arms around him. She even insisted on riding on Qin Feng's neck to take pictures. However, Qin Feng rejected her flatly. The other 2 cars arrived one after another. The staff of Hong Kong's Media of Millions, Henry and Tom, got out of the car. "Ladies, welcome to the office of Can Film Group. Let's go in and have a look." The director of production, Henry, walked to the women. He spoke elegantly and behaved like a gentleman. It was impossible to tell that he and Tom were playing dirty tricks behind their backs. The group followed Henry and Tom into the palace-like office building. The interior was decorated in European and American style. The intricate plaster lines and the splendid wall decorations were a few grades higher than the building of Hong Kong's Media of Millions. "Dear friends from afar, allow me to introduce Can Film Group to you." Henry and Tom led the way. The 4 female assistants who were supposed to receive them at the airport had already gone to work. Rao Sherman and Zhang Kuku were Chinese superstars. They had been in China's entertainment industry for a long time and had been to a few famous film and television companies in China. However, the development of China's film and television industry was not as developed as America's. It was evident from the culture of Can Film Group. Can Film Group was huge. Even after walking around for a whole morning, they still couldn't see the whole building. Qin Feng and the group even met a few Hollywood superstars in the company. Some of them were male stars that Zhang Kuku liked very much. Zhang Kuku asked them to take pictures with her, and even asked them to pose with her in some weird and idiotic poses. She almost drove the Hollywood superstars crazy. "Ladies, it's getting late. Our company has booked a hotel for you. I'll bring you to the hotel now. I'll invite all of you to have dinner tonight. I hope all 4 of you can come." After they were done with the company, Henry and Tom brought everyone to the hotel. The hotel was only 1 kilometer away from Can Film Group. It only took a few minutes to get there. Chapter 926. Sure man, this hotel is so nice. It's specially designed to serve us. Aren't you afraid of being intercepted by fans and paparazzi? Zhang Kuku danced with joy after learning about the nature of the celebrity hotel. Do you think this is China? Who knows you? Don't worry. There won't be any paparazzi or fans chasing after you. Rao Sherman thought Zhang Kuku was too active, and it was necessary to extinguish her fire from time to time. Sherman, you're talking nonsense. Kuku is famous all over the world. I have many fans even in America. Zhang Kuku was instantly displeased. Her cute and coquettish look made Henry unable to walk. Sherman, Beauty Kuku, do you need me to carry your luggage to your room? Henry and Tom had already arranged their tasks. Henry would target the pretty girl group, while Tom would target Ma Xinxin and Ao Shawan. Director Henry, don't bother. Our luggage isn't heavy. We can carry it ourselves. Henry was rejected, so he couldn't force the two girls to carry their luggage. Originally, Tom wanted to use Henry's method to woo Ma Xinxin and Ao Shawan. But it seemed like it wouldn't work. Hee. Tom and I won't send you guys off. Go to your room, and we'll come back in the evening. The party will be held in this hotel. Henry and Tom bade farewell to everyone, and left the hotel. From the beginning to the end, they took care of the four beauties, but didn't say a word to Qin Feng. The staff of Hong Kong's Media of Millions lived in ordinary rooms while Qin Feng and the others lived in the luxurious suite on the top floor. Qin Feng had revealed his identity to the pretty girl group and Ao Shawan in Hong Kong, so he didn't have any scruples when he came to America this time. Therefore, he stayed in the same suite with Ma Xinxin and Ao Shawan. Qin Feng and the pretty girl group's suite faced each other. They greeted each other and returned to their rooms. There are only 2 rooms in this suite. Ma Xinxin discovered the problem as soon as she entered the room. How could they live in 2 rooms? When Ao Shawan learned there were only 2 rooms, he rushed up and held Qin Feng's arm. He glared at Ma Xinxin and said, "That's easy. I'll share a room with Qin Feng, and you'll have another room. I'll take care of you." Ma Xinxin had always been at odds with Ao Shawan. She also rushed up and held Qin Feng's other arm. "Why are you sleeping with Qin Feng? I'll even take care of you. You can sleep on a big bed by yourself." Ao Shawan was so angry that his nose became crooked. You dare to disobey me? Do you know who I am? In Hong Kong, no one dares to offend me, Ao Shawan. Ao Shawan's big sister's temper flared up. That arrogant momentum was really not something that an ordinary person could fake. But Ma Xinxin was not afraid of Ao Shawan, because she was completely confident that she could kick this damn girl away. Humph. What's wrong with big sister? Others might be afraid of you, but I'm not. Besides, this is America, not Hong Kong. Ao Shawan was stunned. She had just arrived in the United States and hadn't adapted yet. Yes, this was not Hong Kong. No, so what if it's not Hong Kong? If you dare to disobey me, as long as you return to the country, I can kill you in minutes. Come on, don't talk about returning to the country. If you make me unhappy, I can trample you to death now. The 2 women quarreled, one fiercer than the other, which stunned Qin Feng. Ahem. Why do you have to quarrel over these trivial things? Isn't it simple to have 2 rooms? I'll sleep in one room, and you 2 sleep in the other. Qin Feng was afraid that the 2 women would really fight if they quarreled again, so he quickly came out to mediate. The 2 women tilted their heads and snorted coldly at the same time. Humph. I don't want to sleep with that woman. Qin Feng thought about it and felt that it was not good to let the 2 women sleep together. Either Ao Shawan killed Ma Xinxin in the middle of the night while she was asleep, or Ma Xinxin kicked Ao Shawan to death in anger. Then you 2 sleep in the same room with me, okay? Qin Feng said seriously. That's more like it. After the 2 women agreed, their expressions suddenly changed. They felt that something was wrong. Go to hell, you pervert. Because of the problem of sleeping, Ao Shawan and Ma Xinxin quarreled for the whole afternoon. Qin Feng's head was swollen because of the 2 women. Fortunately, Rao Sherman and Zhang Kuku came to Qin Feng's room to play. Zhang Kuku took the initiative to invite Ao Shawan to sleep in her room. Then, Rao Man slept with Big Sis Ling, while Qin Feng and Ma Xinxin slept in their own room. Finally, the problem of sleeping was solved. Qin Feng heaved a long sigh of relief. He had known Zhang Kuku for a long time, but this was the first time this girl helped him with something serious. The four women surrounded Qin Feng's room and played until night fell. Due to the time difference between America and China, it was nighttime in America, while it was daytime in China. The four women were a little sleepy at this time. However, they hadn't eaten anything since they got off the plane. They were hungry and couldn't sleep. Suddenly, the doorbell of Qin Feng's room rang. He opened the door and saw Harry and Tom. They stood at the door and watched Qin Feng lying on the sofa like a paralyzed Guyu. Rao Man peeled grapes and fed him. Zhang Kuku and Ao Shawan each pinched one of Qin Feng's legs. The scene stunned Harry and Tom. Are all Chinese beauties like this? Or are all Chinese men as ugly as Zheng Shuai? Director Harry, Director Tom, you're here. Ma Xinxin beckoned them into the room. Tom's target was Ma Xinxin and Ao Shawan. He especially liked Ma Xinxin's big buttocks. He glanced at Ma Xinxin's buttocks and said with a smile, "Haha, sorry to keep you ladies waiting. We're here to take you to the party tonight." The four women were starving. When they saw it was time to eat, they hastily got up and went out. Under Harry and Tom's lead, they arrived at the banquet hall on the third floor. They had booked the entire place. 2 rows of dining cars lined the hall, were filled with all kinds of delicious food and wine. Most of the food was Western cuisine, and the drinks were mainly red wine, champagne and whiskey. Superstar Zheng Shuai, you're here. The staff of Hong Kong's House of Millions Media had arrived. When they saw Zheng Shuai, Rao Man, and the girls, they came up to greet them. In fact, during the 10 days of filming in Hong Kong, these staff had built a good relationship with Qin Feng and the girls. Especially after Qin Feng and the girls turned this youth idol drama into a brainless comedy. They laughed until they cried during the filming every day. That kind of cheerful feeling made them friends easily. Qin Feng and the beauties didn't put on airs like celebrities. They greeted everyone like they were good friends. After greeting each other, the atmosphere of the party started to liven up. There was elegant music playing in the banquet hall, and a few couples were dancing the waltz. Superstar Sherman, although I'm in America, the fame of you and Kiki has traveled across the ocean and reached my ears. I admire the beauty of you Asians very much. You're gentle, elegant, and very charming. Harry tried to get close to Rao Man. The reason he learned Chinese was to chase after Chinese girls. Seeing that Harry and his men had made their move, Tom also ran to Ma Xinxin and Ao Shawan. "Miss Ao, you're the woman with the most character I've ever seen. Your carefree nature deeply attracts me. May I have a dance with you, Miss Ao?" Tom and Henry had dressed up meticulously tonight. Each of them was wearing an expensive custom-made suit, elegant leather shoes, and had even sprayed perfume on their bodies. Coupled with their handsome appearance and gentlemanly demeanor, the few Chinese female celebrities who had come earlier had basically fallen for them. However, Tom found the wrong person. He actually wanted to chase after Ao Shawan? Fuck. What are you babbling about? I don't understand. Although Tom could speak Chinese, his level was not good. Ao Shawan was also impatient, so he didn't have the patience to listen to Tom carefully. He directly waved his hand, as if he was shooing away a fly. "What? Miss Ao, what did you say?" Ao Shawan spoke quickly. Tom was dumbfounded. Although Tom didn't understand what Ao Shawan was saying, from her tone and attitude, it seemed to be cursing. How could this woman curse for no reason? Fuck. Are you deaf? I told you not to talk to me. Can you not talk to me? Ao Shawan's beautiful eyes widened, and Tom was so scared that he took 2 steps back. Tom pricked up his ears and almost became a cat, but he still didn't understand what Ao Shawan was saying. You talk and I talk. Tom's mind was full of the word talk, but he didn't know what to say. Hee. Miss Xinxin, can I invite you to dance? Seeing that Ao Shawan's communication was blocked, Tom reacted very quickly. He turned around and began to chat with Ma Xinxin. Because Tom and Harry had pretended to be polite in front of the 4 beauties, and the 4 women came to shoot this time to ask the Can Film Group of the United States for help. Ma Xinxin didn't want to make their relationship awkward. Director Tom, I'm really sorry, but I don't know how to dance. Ma Xinxin smiled and politely refused Tom. Seeing that Ma Xinxin's temper and patience were much better, Tom was very happy. That's not a problem. I can teach you. Tom felt that Ma Xinxin had a chance, so he stretched out his hand to hug Ma Xinxin's slender waist. Ma Xinxin was startled. She thought that these foreign men were really more open. How could they fight with just a few words? They were just like Qin Fun. Ma Xinxin was a little unhappy, but for the sake of her face, she could only smile and take a step back. Hee. Director Tom, I really don't know how to dance. You'd better find someone else. Ma Xinxin covered her mouth and giggled. This was just an apologetic way of refusing, but Tom didn't think so. He was a little elated. He thought that Ma Xinxin was shy, and this woman obviously liked him. Miss Xinxin, don't be shy. I'll teach you how to dance the waltz. It's very easy. Tom took another big step forward and reached out to hug Ma Xinxin again. Ma Xinxin was really angry this time and pushed Tom casually. However, Ma Xinxin was not the Ma Xinxin of the past. She had learned to use inner qi, but she was not proficient in controlling it. Ouch. Chapter 927. Ouch. That was a terrible cry, enough to make one's heart ache to hear it. Everyone stopped talking, and the couples who were dancing also stopped. Everyone's eyes were focused on Tom. Isn't he the director of Can Film Group? Why is he lying on the ground? Oh, Americans love hip-hop. Director Tom is going to do a hip-hop dance. Clap, clap, clap. There was a round of enthusiastic applause. Everyone was looking forward to Tom making a big windmill. That would be so cool. However, after a while, Tom didn't dance at all. He seemed to be in pain and depressed. Director Tom, are you okay? Henry was flirting with Rao Sherman. When he saw Tom lying on the ground, he stopped flirting and hurried over to help Tom up. Tom gritted his teeth in pain. He felt as though his bones were about to fall apart. Tom regretted his decision. He felt that he had chosen the wrong target. One was arrogant like a big sister, while the other was born with godly strength. All these Chinese celebrities seemed to be freaks. Director Tom, are you okay? The floor is too slippery. Otherwise, you wouldn't have fallen. Ma Xinxin was taken aback. She didn't expect that she would push Tom so hard that he would fall to the ground. However, Ma Xinxin would never admit that she was the one who overthrew Tom. She was afraid that Can Film Group would cancel the collaboration before the shooting of the American film started. Tom suffered a loss. His excuse of slipping and falling was a good one. Otherwise, he would be embarrassed enough if everyone knew he was overthrown by a woman. Haha, I am fine. Thank you for your concern, Miss Xinxin. The floor is really slippery. Director Henry, can you help me to a corner to rest? I'll be fine after some rest. Tom was in so much pain that he couldn't walk. He couldn't flirt with girls anymore. All he wanted now was to go to a corner to rest. After helping Tom to a quiet corner, Henry hurried back. He still wanted to flirt with girls. Miss Sherman, something happened to my friend just now. I'm so sorry. May I have a dance with you? Henry kept pestering Rao Sherman. At first, Rao Sherman politely rejected him. But now, she didn't waste time and ran to Qin Feng. Zheng Shuai, would you like to dance with me? Sure. Qin Feng had long since discovered that Harry and Tom were up to no good. At this moment, he hugged Rao Sherman's slender waist and glared at Harry complacently. Harry almost vomited in disgust when he saw Rao Sherman taking the initiative to dance with Qin Feng. There was definitely something wrong with this Chinese beauty's taste. Hee. Miss Kiki, how are you adjusting to your new life in America? Just let me know if you need anything. After Rao Sherman left, Henry started to pester Zhang Kuku. Zhang Kuku stood in front of the row of dining cars with a watermelon in each hand. She nibbled on the watermelon and looked at Henry like an innocent bystander. Are you sure that you can just ask if you need anything? Of course. It's my honor to be of service to Beauty Coco. Henry's words and actions were filled with gentlemanly air. Okay. Hurry up and get someone to move these 2 rows of dining carts to my room. Don't let anyone else eat. Zhang Kuku clapped her hands excitedly, causing the watermelon in her hand to drop onto Henry's leather shoes. In order to have a successful date tonight, Henry purposely put on his most expensive pair of branded leather shoes. He was reluctant to wear this pair of shoes during normal times, so he put them on after polishing them until they were shiny. However, the watermelon water and a few watermelon seeds stuck to them. Henry was so angry that his nose became crooked. When Henry recalled Zhang Keku's idiotic request, he rolled his eyes and ignored Zhang Keku. He bent down to wipe his shoes with a handkerchief, but the watermelon water was sticky. The more he wiped, the dirtier the shoes became. Henry was so angry that his lungs almost exploded. "Ah, you pervert. You peeped under Keek's skirt." Henry had only bent down for a short while when someone stepped on his head. The stomp caused him to lose his balance, causing him to fall on the watermelon skin. He slid for a few meters before he came to a stop. There were many people dancing around him, so no one noticed Henry. Everyone was startled when they felt something soft when they stepped on him. "Ah, Director Henry, what are you doing?" A scream came from the crowd, and they finally saw Henry lying on the ground. There were a lot of footprints on Henry's handsome black suit. These footprints were understandable. After all, those who had stepped on Henry's body knew it. However, there was a small footprint on Henry's head, which was puzzling. How much hatred did this person have for Henry? "Director Henry, are you all right?" Several representatives from Can Film and Television came to attend the party. They quickly gathered around Henry. Qin Feng and the representatives from Hong Kong's House of Millions Media also gathered around Henry. Everyone started to wonder, what's wrong with Americans? Why do they like to lie on the ground? "You woman, why did you step on my head?" Although Henry wanted to flirt with Zhang Keku, being stepped on by Zhang Keku infuriated him. He roared at Zhang Keku after being helped up by his American colleagues. Zhang Keku realized that she had made a mistake. She ran to Qin Feng, hugged his arm and cried, "Sob, sob. Big brother Zheng Shuai, that four-eyed guy is a pervert." He squatted down and peeped under Keek's skirt. Whoosh! As soon as Zhang Keku's words fell, the crowd burst into exclamations. Everyone present here was a man of high social status. It was fine for him to flirt with a girl and peep at her. But how could he do such a despicable thing in front of everyone? Qin Feng was enraged. Without saying a word, he slapped Henry's face. The loud and clear slap silenced the noisy banquet hall. The Can Film and Television employees' jaws dropped to the ground. They had worked with many Chinese celebrities in the past, and the other Chinese celebrities in the United States had to humble themselves in order to curry favor with them. However, this group of Chinese celebrities was too arrogant and dared to slap Henry without any regard for the consequences. "Fuck. How dare you slap me? You're courting death." Henry was enraged by the slap. He roared at Qin Feng fiercely. Qin Feng had a calm expression on his face as he coldly said, "So what if I hit you? How dare you peep under my friend's skirt? Not only did I slap you, but I'll also call the police to arrest you. Don't think that we're afraid of you, just because we're in the United States. We won't tolerate such despicable things." Qin Feng's words were filled with righteous indignation. The power of his emotions was extremely strong, and it instantly infuriated the staff of Hong Kong's Media of Millions. "Brother Zheng Shuai, I'm going to post a Weibo post to denounce Henry and ask the Chinese netizens to support us. I'm acquainted with the Chinese embassy in the United States. I'm asking them for help. Do you think the Chinese are pushovers? Our 1.3 billion compatriots are not for sex. I want to speak to the CEO of Can Film and Television. Is this the quality of your employees?" The team members who came with Qin Feng and the others all took out their phones and glared at Henry and the others like tigers watching their prey. The Can Film and Television employees felt a little guilty. After all, it was Director Henry's fault. Why did you peep under someone's skirt at a party? You should have done it in private, when no one was around. Henry felt guilty, or rather he was dumbfounded. Since when did I peep under that woman's skirt? I'm clearly cleaning my shoes, okay? However, Henry knew it was useless to say anything now. There was a Chinese proverb that said, "You can't wash yourself clean even if you fall into the Yellow River." Hey, don't accuse me wrongly. How can I, Henry, peep under a woman's skirt? I was cleaning her shoes just now. Don't spout nonsense. Henry knew it was useless to explain himself, but he had no other choice but to defend himself. Cleaning shoes? That means you've admitted to peeping under a woman's skirt, said Qin Feng. The Chinese people nodded their heads. It seemed like they had used the excuse of cleaning shoes to peep under a woman's skirt. Henry rolled his eyes and almost fainted from anger. I didn't peep. Don't call me. Let's forget about it. Before, Harry had looked as if he wouldn't stop until he killed Qin Feng. Now he immediately shriveled up. Zhang Kuku, who was standing behind Qin Feng, wanted to laugh but couldn't. Her neck was red from holding back her laughter. Qin Feng said with a straight face, You think you can forget about it? You've peeped under my colleague's skirt. You should apologize to her. Henry was so angry that his vision darkened. He was the victim, so why did he have to apologize to her? I said let's forget about it. Don't push your luck. Henry glared at Qin Feng angrily, as if he was ready to shed all pretense of cordiality. Before Qin Feng could speak, the people from Hong Kong's House of Millions media were unhappy. Why are you so fierce? It seems like we have to call the police. My acquaintance from the Huaxia embassy in the US is my cousin. Henry was depressed, but he still took the initiative to admit his mistake. Miss Kuku, I'm very sorry. I didn't mean to peep under your skirt. I was cleaning my shoes and accidentally saw it. I hope you can forgive me. I won't accept it. As soon as Harry apologized, Zhang Kuku pouted her lips and rejected him. Henry felt dizzy, and he could faint at any time. The farce finally came to an end. The film and television employees carried Henry to Tom's side to rest. Henry and Tom looked at each other, and an indescribable sadness flashed across their eyes. Henry and Tom had stopped their bickering, but the party was finally heating up. Zhang Kuku, who was holding back her laughter, laughed so hard that her intestines almost fell out. Qin Feng became the most sought-after man of the night. Rauscher Man and the other three beauties fought to dance with Qin Feng. In the end, the four of them agreed that each of them would dance with Qin Feng for 15 minutes before the next person would dance with them. It was a pretty good agreement, but Qin Feng wanted to ask them if they had thought about his feelings. Did they really think that he was not tired just because he was good in bed? Chapter 928. It was said that loneliness was a one-man party. However, Henry and Tom did not agree with this saying. Loneliness was a two-man party. Henry and Tom could not bear the sight of the paired men and women in the banqueting hall dancing to the slow, pleasant music. Based on what? How could that ugly Chinese man, Zheng Shuai, flirt with four girls all by himself? Do you think you're a big shot? Let's have a match if you have the guts. Tom and Henry were extremely depressed. They were here to flirt with girls, not to be the third wheel. Director Henry, that man named Zheng Shuai is very annoying. Should we teach him a lesson? Tom couldn't stand it anymore. He gritted his teeth and said to Henry. Henry hated Qin Feng even more than Tom. He was slapped by Qin Feng, and half of his face was still swollen. Of course we can't let that arrogant, ugly and lowly bastard get away with it. But let's not do anything tonight. After all, I just had a small conflict with him. If he gets beaten up, I'll be the one to blame. We have more important things to do tonight. Henry had regained his senses. He knew what was important and what wasn't. Tom's eyes glowed green when he said that. However, the green light soon disappeared. Sigh. Those four Chinese girls are circling around Zheng Shuai. They don't seem to be interested in us. This matter made Tom and Henry extremely depressed. What exactly did the four women like about Zheng Shuai? Since normal methods won't work, let's play some tricks. Henry looked at Tom with a smile. Tom immediately smiled knowingly. Director Henry, do you have medicine with you? It wasn't the first time Tom and Henry had flirted with superstars. They knew very well what kind of people they were. Henry looked around to make sure no one was paying attention to him. Then he took out a bottle of medicine surreptitiously and said, This is a new product sent by a Thai friend 2 days ago. It's called Super Black Widow. It's said that if a sow eats one, it will squeal for the whole night. Henry didn't need to explain further. Tom understood everything. What would happen if he gave one to each of the four beauties? Haha, that's good. Tonight, I'm going to ravage that hot girl. Let's see if he still dares to talk to me so fast in the future. Tom glanced at Ao Shawan in the crowd, and his eyes flashed with a hint of a smirk. Henry glared at Zhang Cuckoo and said through gritted teeth, "How dare you step on my head? I'll press your head and play with it for the whole night." With the Super Black Widow in hand, Tom and Henry regained their confidence. The two of them continued to discuss tonight's strategy. When they were almost done, they pushed a dining cart with 7 wine glasses and walked towards Qin Feng. "Haha, friends who have come from afar. There has been a small misunderstanding earlier, please forgive us. Tom and I have specially come to propose a toast to you, hoping to resolve the conflict." Harry pushed the cart to everyone's side. Qin Feng and Ma Xinxin had just stopped dancing. Seeing Director Henry and Director Tom propose a toast in person, the girls couldn't refuse. After all, they still needed the cooperation of Can Film Group for the next few days. "Hee, Director Henry, you're being too serious. Although your peeping is worse than a beast, you're brave enough to admit your mistake and correct it. That's a very good quality." Henry rolled his eyes at Qin Feng's words. "How am I worse than a beast? I was wronged by Zhang Cuckoo." Although he was displeased, this was not the time to be calculative. He said in a gentlemanly manner, "Mr. Zheng Shuai is right. I'll pay attention to my manners, and won't do such bad things again. Since that's the case, let's have a toast." Qin Feng's suspicions were aroused as Henry kept talking about drinking. Before everyone could reach for the wine glasses on the dining cart, Qin Feng suddenly screamed, "Ah! Cuckoo, your underwear fell off." Henry and Tom stopped holding the wine glasses and looked at Zhang Cuckoo's ankle impatiently. Ma Xinxin and the girls were also frightened. How could Zhang Cuckoo's underwear fall off? Did she buy too much? No one saw Zhang Cuckoo's underwear falling to her ankles, but they saw her shocking action. Zhang Cuckoo bent down, pulled up the bottom of her cheongsam, and peeked into her thighs. She took a second look to make sure she was right before she stood up angrily. "Stupid Zheng Shuai, you're talking nonsense. My underwear didn't fall at all." Qin Feng was used to Zhang Cuckoo's chunibi behavior, so he did not find it strange at all. While everyone was focused on Zhang Cuckoo's ankle, Qin Feng had already exchanged the 2 wine glasses on the dining cart with the 2 glasses in front of Henry and Tom. Everyone came back to their senses. The women stared at Qin Feng strangely. They didn't know why he was making such a low-level joke in front of everyone. Tom and Henry hurriedly averted their gazes, afraid that the women would discover them peeping at Qin Feng. Then, they glanced at Qin Feng contemptuously and muttered, "Childish. Hee, I'm sorry Kiki, I was mistaken." Qin Feng patted Zhang Cuckoo's head and comforted her. Then he looked at everyone and said, "Since Director Henry and Director Tom are here to propose a toast, let's have a toast." Qin Feng raised his wine glass, and the women followed suit. They were here because of Qin Feng's order. Zhang Cuckoo pouted and looked unhappy. It was hard to tell if she was angry at Qin Feng or Harry. If she was angry at Henry, he would have exploded in anger. After all, he was the victim here. Henry and Tom were extremely excited when they saw the 4 women raising their wine glasses. The 2 of them drugged Qin Feng, and the 4 women's wine glasses. As for drugging Qin Feng as well, they thought that after the drug took effect, Qin Feng would find a woman to cure himself. That way, Qin Feng wouldn't be a hindrance to the 2 of them. Everyone raised their wine glasses and emptied their wine glasses. Henry and Tom put down their glasses. Seeing that the glasses of the 4 beauties were already empty, they were so excited that they almost cried out. According to the manual of Super Black Widow, the effect of this drug was extremely strong, and the effect of the drug was also very fast. It was estimated that the 4 beauties would be affected in 15 minutes. Hee, since everyone has drunk this glass of wine, let's not talk about what happened before. We are still good friends. Henry chuckled and said some polite words to avoid exposing the identity of the drugged women. After that, Henry and Tom returned to the corner and sat down. Both of them sat in the corner and stared at the women they liked. Occasionally, they would communicate with each other. "Director Tom, do you have any more videos on your phone? Send me some of them. I'll play them tonight to liven things up." Henry smiled vulgarly. Tom's smile became even more vulgar. As a director, Tom had a lot of videos. Moreover, these videos were not the kind that could be downloaded from the internet. They were all videos taken by the celebrities that Tom had slept with before. Tom took out his phone and fiddled with it for a while. Then he gave Henry a knowing smile and said, "Okay." Henry hastily accepted the video and realized that it had 12 gigabytes of memory. Henry was dumbfounded. After the four women finished their drinks, they began to dance with Qin Feng. Although Qin Feng appeared to be engrossed in the waltz with the beauties, he was secretly observing Tom and Henry. When he saw the two of them whispering to each other in the corner and smiling vulgarly from time to time, Qin Feng was even more certain that they had drugged the wine. Since they had drugged the wine, Rauscher Man, the other three women, and even his glass of wine must have been drugged. Qin Feng only swapped 2 glasses of wine for them. In other words, among the 5 of them, 3 of them had drunk the wine that was drugged. Qin Feng was dancing with Zhang Keke. Occasionally, he would glance at Rauscher Man and the other 2 women. He mainly wanted to observe their reactions. After all, Qin Feng had no idea what drug Henry and Tom had drugged them. "Hey, how can you do this? You're always distracted when you dance with me. You even peek at Sure Man and the other women. You're pissing me off." Zhang Keke soon realized that Qin Feng was not paying attention when he was dancing. She was so angry that she bumped her chest against Qin Feng. Qin Feng felt that he was almost bounced off. "Ah, why am I not paying attention? Didn't I touch your butt while we danced? I'm very serious." Although Qin Feng was serious, his eyes were still peeking at Rauscher Man and the other 2 women. Zhang Keke was really angry. She felt that among the 4 women, Qin Feng was the one who cared the least about her. He even purposely avoided her. Zhang Keke couldn't figure out why. Alright. You're not paying attention. I don't want to dance with you anymore." Zhang Keke pushed Qin Feng away and stormed toward the washroom in a huff. Qin Feng paid no attention to her and sat beside the 3 women. "Huh? Why did Keke leave?" Rauscher Man asked. "She said she had to go to the washroom." Qin Feng casually made up an excuse. "Ah, that's great. Big brother Zheng Shuai, let's go dance." Ao Shaoan hastily pulled Qin Feng. She couldn't let go of such an opportunity. Ma Xinxin was instantly displeased. She glared at Ao Shaoan and yelled, "Hey, don't you know the rules? Even if Zhang Keke doesn't dance, Sure Man will be next. Why are you snatching her?" "Snatching her is my business." Sure Man didn't say anything. "Why are you making a fuss, big butt?" Ao Shaoan and Ma Xinxin quarreled with each other after exchanging a few words. Qin Feng and Rauscher Man were used to it. Ma Xinxin's eyeballs almost popped out when she was called a big butt. You yellow-haired little girl. What did you call me? Big butt. Is there something wrong with your head?" Ma Xinxin was furious. Chapter 929. Why you called me a yellow afro? Why your eyes grew on your butt? When did I dye my hair yellow? When did I have an afro? What does afro mean? This is the first time I've heard of this word. Ao Shaoan rolled his eyes. When he said this, he was obviously a little unconfident. After learning that Zheng Shuai was Qin Feng, Ao Shaoan's yellow afro was gone the next day. Now, he had a head of long black hair that fell over his shoulders. From time to time, he would tie his hair into 2 ponytails, which scared Qin Feng and the beauties. "Pretend. Keep pretending. You're a non-mainstream afro." Ma Xinxin pursed her lips and deliberately angered Ao Shaoan. "Why you have a big butt?" Ma Xinxin stamped her feet angrily. She felt the ground shake. "So what if I have a big butt? Women with big butts can have sons. Can you? If you want to have a son, then have one." "It has nothing to do with me," Ao Shaoan retorted. "Of course it has nothing to do with you. It has something to do with Zheng Shuai. He said he likes sons." Ma Xinxin stared at Ao Shaoan triumphantly. Rauscher Man suddenly looked at Qin Feng and stared at his face with a strange look. Qin Feng was embarrassed. Every time the women quarreled, Qin Feng would be the innocent victim. Qin Feng simply ignored Ao Shaoan and Ma Xinxin. As long as they didn't tear each other's hair and fight, it would be fine. "Little pig, is there a universal antidote in the system?" Qin Feng was concerned about the serious matter. Rauscher Man, the women, and himself were probably poisoned. He had to detoxify the poison first. Master, you don't have to buy an antidote. You can detoxify the poison directly with your inner chi. You can also detoxify the other women. As for Ma Xinshin, Master doesn't need to care about her. She has the body of all poisons. No poison or medicine will work on her. After listening to Little Pig's advice, Qin Feng had already started to circulate his inner chi to detoxify himself. The detoxification process was very simple. He only needed to let the inner chi circulate once in his body. The poison and waste in his body would also circulate. Then he could go to the toilet and detoxify himself. Sure man, give me your hand. Qin Feng took care of his body in a few minutes, and then looked at Rao Sherman beside him. Rao Sherman was slightly stunned, then her pretty face began to blush. But she didn't refuse Qin Feng. She didn't even ask the reason, and directly gave him her hand. Qin Feng held Rao Sherman's small hand. It was smooth and soft to the touch. Waves of inner chi entered Rao Sherman's body. Rao Sherman wasn't prepared at all. She suddenly let out a coquettish cry, which tickled Qin Feng's heart. After Rao Sherman, Qin found that Ma Xinshin and Ao Xiaowan were still. In the beginning, the two of them were arguing about a big butt and a non-mainstream yellow-haired girl. Now they were arguing about the explosion of the universe and the Milky Way galaxy war. Qin Fen didn't know how they got so far away. Xiao said, I said, Xiao Xiao. Qin Xiao. Ayu. Xiao. Zheng Shuai, why are you touching her hand? I also want to be touched. Ma Xinshin stared at Qin Feng angrily. She was a little unhappy. You don't need to touch. You're fine. Ma Xinshin had the body of 1,000 poisons, so Qin Feng didn't need to give her inner chi. But Ma Xinshin didn't understand Qin Feng's intention. She immediately complained. What do you mean I don't need to touch? I want to be touched. Ma Xinshin pouted and began to act coquettishly. Qin Feng couldn't take his eyes off her charming appearance. Okay, I'll touch you. Sit down. Ma Xinshin and Ao Xiaowan sat on Qin Fen's left and right. Qin Fen held each of their hands and began to circulate qi to the two women. Ao Xiaowan was an ordinary person. When she felt the cold inner qi enter her body, she had the same reaction as Rao Sherman. She couldn't help but pout coquettishly. Ma Xinshin was already a stage 4 inner martial artist, so she had inner qi in her body. When she saw Qin Feng touching her hand just to channel inner qi, she was confused. Okay, sit here obediently. I'm going to the washroom. After dealing with Rao Sherman and the other two women, Qin Feng went to find Zhang Kuku. He hadn't done that girl yet. Director Henry, quick look, that annoying Zheng Shuai has left. Tom shouted excitedly from the corner. Harry also noticed that Qin Feng had left. The two of them sat in the corner and observed Qin Feng's every move. That brat seems to have gone to the washroom, Henry said. Who cares where he went? It's time for us to start. It's been 10 minutes. Tom looked at the three beauties sitting in the crowd with an impatient look. The Super Black Widow will be effective in 15 minutes. Let's wait for 2 more minutes. Don't let 1 or 2 minutes spoil the whole thing. Harry had a steadier temperament, so the two of them kept staring at the three women, paying close attention to the three beauties' every move. Qin Feng arrived at the door of the men's washroom. Before he entered, he was suddenly pulled into the women's washroom. Qin Feng instinctively wanted to fight back. His hand fell on the woman's head, but he stopped abruptly. Kuku, are you crazy? Let go of me. Qin Feng glared at Zhang Kuku angrily. Is this woman still mad at me? Is she trying to get back at me by dragging me into the women's washroom? Big brother Qin Feng, hug Kuku. Zhang Kuku raised her head slightly. The light in her beautiful eyes dimmed. She opened her mouth slightly and licked her lips with her pink tongue. She looked extremely alluring. Don't try to trick me. I won't fall for it. Seeing Zhang Kuku's lustful expression, Qin Feng was 100% sure that this woman was trying to set him up. This was the women's washroom. If a woman came in, she would kick him out like a pervert. No. I want a hug and a kiss. Zhang Kuku refused to let go of Qin Feng. She even used all her strength to pull Qin Feng into the washroom cubicle. Qin Feng had to hand it to Zhang Kuku. When this woman acted like an idiot, even Qin Feng was afraid of her. Tat tat tat. Suddenly, the crisp sound of high heels came from outside the washroom. Qin Feng was startled. He quickly pulled open the cubicle door and pushed Zhang Kuku into it. Kuku, don't shout. Otherwise I'll fall out with you. Qin Feng could already guess what Zhang Kuku would do next. However, to his surprise, Zhang Kuku did not seem to be trying to trick him. She opened her mouth and stuck out her tongue. She kept rubbing her face against Qin Feng's face, as if she wanted to kiss him. Qin Feng's face darkened. He pressed Zhang Kuku's head with one hand to prevent her face from coming closer. Zhang Kuku seemed to be in pain. She started to whimper, "Kiss me. Quick, kiss me." Qin Feng hastily covered Zhang Kuku's mouth with his hand. He was afraid that the woman who just entered the washroom would find out what she was doing. Zhang Kuku couldn't speak anymore. She started to squirm in Qin Feng's arms, but she couldn't break free from Qin Feng's grip. Qin Feng heaved a sigh of relief when he felt Zhang Kuku in his arms gradually calming down. The woman outside had left the washroom. Qin Feng looked at Zhang Kuku and was so shocked that he almost fell to the ground. "Kuku, what are you doing?" Zhang Kuku was wearing a black cheongsam. Her skirt was pulled up to her waist. Qin Feng was sure that Zhang Kuku's underwear was still on her body. I want. Zhang Kuku's words were unclear, and her eyes were lifeless. Qin Feng could tell that Zhang Kuku had been drugged. Had she drunk the wine? Judging from Zhang Kuku's condition, Henry and Tom must have drugged her. Qin Feng didn't know whether he should thank Henry and Tom, or Henry and Tom. Zhang Kuku took the initiative to grab Qin Feng's hand and pressed it against her chest. She felt as if she was speaking to her conscience. "Kuku, stop it. I'll force the drug out of your body, okay?" Although Zhang Kuku's body was soft and smooth, Qin Feng dared not to do anything to her. Who knew what kind of earth-shattering things this silly girl would do when she regained consciousness? Ugh, I can't take it anymore. Hurry up. Zhang Kuku's words were uttered subconsciously. Her face was filled with resentment, and she began to nudge Qin Feng with her body. Qin Feng was tormented by Zhang Kuku's long legs. Suddenly, Zhang Kuku stood on the toilet bowl and sat on the lid of the cistern. She wrapped her legs around Qin Feng's waist and mumbled, "I'm not taking off my underwear. It's so troublesome." Qin Feng was dumbfounded. He did not move and allowed Zhang Kuku to unbuckle his belt. "Director Henry, they're moving. The three girls are moving," Tom yelled excitedly. Even his choice of words was a little shocking. "It seems like they're going to the washroom. Haha, this is a good opportunity. I love to have sex in the washroom." Henry was also excited. Both of them quickly got up and headed to the washroom. When they arrived at the washroom, they bumped into Rauscher Man and the other two girls. "Hee hee, three beauties come to the washroom. Haha, what a coincidence. We're also here to use the washroom." Henry and Tom greeted the three girls. Henry purposely looked at his watch. It had been 15 minutes since the three girls started drinking. This was the time when the drug of the Super Black Widow was at its strongest. Could it be that the three girls were suffering and wanted to relieve themselves in the washroom? Rauscher Man and the other two girls stopped at the washroom's entrance. They looked at Henry and Tom with a strange gaze. Are these two sick? Why the hell are they greeting me at the washroom's entrance? Okay, let's go in. Rauscher Man was the most sensible one. Although she was a little unhappy, she still gave a simple reply to Henry and Tom. Hee hee, since it's such a coincidence, why don't we go together? Chapter 930. Rauscher Man and the other two women were stunned. They even suspected that there was something wrong with their ears. Otherwise, how could Director Henry say such shameless and vulgar words? Hey, what did you just say? You want to go to the bathroom with us? Ao Shawan was a hot-tempered woman. She dared to say anything when Qin Fen was not around. She had the personality of a non-mainstream delinquent. Ao Shawan's tone was obviously questioning. Perhaps Henry, as an American, couldn't tell, but he thought Ao Shawan was asking for his opinion. Henry was so happy that he couldn't close his mouth. He rubbed his hands and said with a smile, "Of course, let's go to the bathroom together. Director Tom and I can also help you three beauties with your physical needs." Rauscher Man and the other two women were stunned for a few seconds. They really couldn't react. The three beauties had a pretty good impression of Henry and Tom. Both of them were elegant and courteous. Even though they invited everyone to dance tonight, this was a very common etiquette in the West, so Rauscher Man and the other two ladies didn't think too much about it. But now Henry actually said such explicit words. Was this person drunk? Director Henry, what nonsense are you talking about? Why would we mess around with you in the bathroom? Rauscher Man was so angry that her face turned red and her voice trembled. Three beauties, do you think the bathroom is too small and unhygienic? It doesn't matter. I've already booked a presidential suite with Director Tom. We can do it separately or together. Henry's brain was full of sperm. He thought according to his own ideas and didn't understand the real meaning of Rauscher Man's words. Tom couldn't wait any longer. Seeing Henry chatting with the beauties for a long time, he was a little impatient. He directly reached out and wanted to hug Ao Shawan. This hot and arrogant little beauty was Tom's favorite. You motherfucker. How dare you molest me? I'll make you a eunuch. Ao Shawan wasn't someone to be trifled with. Although she wasn't as strong as Ma Xinshin, she was more decisive and hot-tempered than Ma Xinshin. Without waiting for Tom's hand to touch his body, Ao Shawan kicked Tom so hard that he screamed in pain. Fuck. Broken. My balls are broken. Tom covered his crotch and howled. Henry still couldn't react. Didn't these women drink Super Black Widow's wine? Why is there no reaction at all? Could it be that Asian women's orgasms were too low and needed a few more pills? Henry couldn't understand it at all. He didn't have to think anymore, because Ma Xinshin kicked him in the stomach. You two bastards, you want to pick up the three of us? Dream on. These women, who were as obedient as cats in front of Qin Feng, became fiercer and fiercer when they were assaulted by other perverts. After being kicked, Henry curled into a ball and smashed into the sink behind him like a cannonball. Rumble. The ceramic sink immediately shattered. Henry maintained his position as a shrimp, half of his body sinking into the sink. How could you attack? We didn't do anything. Tom screamed for a while, and finally managed to squeeze out a sentence. However, as soon as he finished speaking, Ao Shawan kicked him again. This girl must have practiced splits when she was a child. Her kick landed on Tom's head and knocked him to the ground. Henry and Tom groaned in pain on the ground. Half a minute ago, they were still fantasizing about the wonderful things they would do tonight. Now their dreams were shattered, and many of their bones were broken. The fighting outside was so intense that Qin Feng, who was in the women's washroom, could hear it clearly. Hearing Ma Xinshin and Ao Shawan's curses, Qin Feng broke out in a cold sweat. If the three women found out what happened between him and Zhang Kuku, he would be kicked out of the washroom window. Big brother Zheng Shui, come on. Be more aggressive. The drug in Zhang Kuku's body had completely taken effect. There was nothing in her world except for a few white clouds. She felt like she was flying in the sky. Zhang Kuku's screams were so loud that Qin Feng hurriedly kissed her. This temporarily suppressed Zhang Kuku's screams. You two shameless bastards. If you dare to hit on me again, I'll teach you a lesson. Ao Shawan was still not satisfied after kicking them, so he started to scold them. Kuku said that Henry peeped under her skirt. I thought it was just a joke. I didn't expect it to be true this time. You two are really beasts in human clothing. Rauscher Man, who was usually gentle and elegant, was enraged. She glared at the two men and turned around to enter the washroom. Ma Xinshin and Ao Shawan cursed a few more times before following them into the women's washroom. They suddenly felt the need to use the toilet. They thought they had drunk too much tonight. Dong dong dong. The three women were startled when they entered the women's washroom. Loud noises came from one of the cubicles at the entrance of the women's washroom. The wooden cubicles made loud banging noises. The three women's faces turned red. Even an idiot would know what was going on inside. Hey, do you have any sense of civility? Did you do it in the washroom? Get the fuck out of here. This is the fucking women's washroom. Ao Shawan was the most hot-tempered among the three women. The noises inside suddenly stopped. Qin Feng was speechless. These three women really came to the washroom. After a short pause, the banging noises started again. Qin Feng was extremely depressed. This time he really didn't move. It was Zhang Kuku who had gone crazy. She wished she could melt into his body. Io, are you unwilling to accept it? How dare you compete with me? I'd like to see what you're up to. Get the fuck out of here. Ao Xiaowan rushed to the washroom and started kicking the door. Qin Feng was so scared that his heart almost jumped out. After a few kicks, Rauscher Man hastily grabbed Ao Xiaowan and said, Xiaowan, don't mess around. The people inside are uncultured and have no self-control. They're just like animals. We don't need to lower ourselves to their level. I can't hold it anymore. I'm going to take care of myself. Ma Xinxin's expression turned ugly. She hastily ran to the innermost washroom. Rauscher Man and Ao Xiaowan also needed to go to the toilet. However, the two women were disgusted by the fact that someone was doing it inside. However, Ao Xiaowan had already kicked the door, but the woman refused to come out. The noises inside were getting louder and louder. Ao Xiaowan and Rauscher Man were at their wits' end. After a while, the two women could only brace themselves and go to the washroom. Since the three women were in the washroom, the noises were even clearer. The banging of the door was rhythmic. The three women had no experience in this aspect, so they were a little excited when they heard the noise. Moreover, the woman's mouth seemed to be blocked. She could only make muffled sounds. However, it was this kind of oppressive sound that made the three women's hearts beat faster. Soon, the three women ran out of the washroom. They couldn't bear to stay there any longer. Their faces were red with embarrassment. Bang! A loud noise resounded. Qin Feng found that the washroom's wooden door fell to the ground. It was destroyed by the fierce battle between him and Zhang Kuku. Both of them were still hugging each other, but there was nothing they could hide from each other. Fortunately, there was no one in the washroom. Qin Feng quickly carried Zhang Kuku to the ground. Zhang Kuku's hazy eyes gradually brightened. She screamed in fear when she saw Qin Feng. What did we do? Zhang Kuku's mind was muddled by the effects of the drug. Now that the drug was released, Zhang Kuku regained her consciousness. However, she was stunned the moment she woke up. She had been chastising herself for 20 years, but it was all gone. Kuku, don't scream. I'll explain it to you. Qin Feng hastily covered Zhang Kuku's mouth after the three women left. Zhang Kuku nodded dumbly. Her big eyes were fixed on Qin Feng's thighs. Her eyes were filled with astonishment. Qin Feng hastily put on his clothes and tidied up Zhang Kuku's cheongsam. Then, he pulled the silly woman out of the washroom. Big brother Qin Feng, did you rape me just now? Zhang Kuku opened her mouth. Qin Feng almost fell to the ground. I am not that kind of person. When Qin Feng pulled Zhang Kuku out of the washroom, he saw Henry and Tom lying at the entrance of the men's washroom. Qin Feng had no time to entertain these two idiots. He pulled Zhang Kuku to a secluded corner and sat down. Didn't you? Then I'm going to the hospital for a checkup. I don't think I have it anymore. Zhang Kuku's face was still red. She pouted and acted like a spoiled child. Qin Feng almost pushed her again. Kuku, it's better if you don't go to the hospital for a checkup. The truth is, you drank the drugged wine, and your animal instincts kicked in and you pushed me down. Qin Feng pretended to be the victim. Although Zhang Kuku was a Chinibyu, she was not stupid. On the contrary, Zhang Kuku was the smartest among the four beauties. Otherwise, Qin Feng would not have fallen into her trap so many times. Zhang Kuku calmed down and pondered. She believed Qin Feng's words. Qin Feng had many chances to push Zhang Kuku down. So why did he choose to do it tonight? Why did he choose to do it in the washroom? This was all very illogical behavior. Big brother Qin Feng, I'm sorry. Please don't tell Sherman about this. Zhang Kuku suddenly grabbed Qin Feng's hand and begged him after she figured out the truth. Qin Feng was dumbfounded. Don't tell Sherman? Qin Feng asked instinctively. Of course I can't tell her. Just promise Kuku. At most, Kuku will do her best to satisfy you whenever you want it. Zhang Kuku looked at Qin Feng earnestly. Qin Feng was still in a daze. He wanted to beg Zhang Kuku not to tell Sherman and the others about this. Qin Feng had made up his mind. In order to seal Zhang Kuku's mouth, he would fulfill whatever Zhang Kuku asked for. He would even give her 100 fireball talismans. Chapter 931. Qin Feng didn't understand Zhang Kuku's behavior because he didn't understand her mind. Zhang Kuku had already made up her mind. She would let Rauscher Man look for a boyfriend and share a boyfriend with Rauscher Man. When Zhang Kuku found out that Zheng Shuai was Qin Feng in Hong Kong, she was certain that Qin Feng was Rauscher Man's boyfriend, which meant that he was her boyfriend. Therefore, Zhang Kuku had no scruples in front of Qin Feng. Let Qin Feng do whatever he wants, let him have his way. However, Zhang Kuku was the mistress, and Rauscher Man was the mistress. Rauscher Man hadn't even slept with Qin Feng, but Zhang Kuku had accidentally pushed Qin Feng. How was he going to face his good sister Rauscher Man in the future? You're not going to tell Rauscher Man? Why didn't you tell Ma Xinxin and Ao Shaowan? Qin Feng still found it hard to accept Zhang Kuku's behavior. He was even worried that Zhang Kuku would come up with another vicious move to take revenge on him. Zhang Kuku shook her head like a rattle drum. She said seriously, "Big brother Qin Feng, you must listen to Kuku. You can't say a word even if you're beaten to death." This was what Qin Feng hoped to see the most. However, when such a good thing really happened, Qin Feng couldn't accept it. Why won't you tell me? Qin Feng wanted to probe further. Suddenly, Zhang Kuku sat on the sofa beside Qin Feng. She hugged Qin Feng's arm tightly and said coquettishly, "Big brother Qin Feng, I just don't want to tell you. But, big brother Qin Feng, did you have fun just now? Why don't we do it again in the corridor? Lie down and I'll satisfy you." Zhang Kuku deliberately changed the topic and tempted him with her beauty. Cough cough. No need. Then, I'll kiss you now. Sneaking around is the most exciting thing, Zhang Kuku said as she placed her face on Qin Feng's thigh. Qin Feng was so scared that he almost had a heart attack. Was there something wrong with this woman? Was he suffering from masochism or post-trunk schizophrenia? Kuku, it's fine if you don't want me to tell you, but you have to tell me the reason. Qin Feng patted Zhang Kuku's shoulder and made her sit beside him. Zhang Kuku looked at Qin Feng awkwardly and said in an aggrieved tone, Sure man likes you too. She was the one who met you first, but I was the one who did it with you first. If Sure Man finds out about this, she'll be very sad." Zhang Kuku was so anxious that she cried. Qin Feng had known Zhang Kuku for a long time, but this was the first time he saw her so serious about something. Qin Feng could tell that Zhang Kuku cared a lot about Rauscher Man's feelings. No wonder Rauscher Man had always been protective of Zhang Kuku. No matter what Zhang Kuku did, or how offensive she was, Rauscher Man would always be the first to stand up for her. Feng would Qin Kuer's relationship with. However, they were not sisters. They Li and Ku for Qin Li, he a Li and heir, and A for a Ku a Yin Feng a Feng A heir a Tian Ming A Li. However, Qin Feng was overjoyed. He didn't expect that he would get hold of Zhang Kuku's weakness by accident. What a great weakness. Yes, Kiki really knows her mistake this time. Big brother Qin Feng. Just wait and see Kiki's performance in the future. When you need Kiki, even if it's in the middle of the night, Kiki will strip naked to find you. Qin Feng was slightly embarrassed by Zhang Kuku's straightforwardness. Cough cough. That's not all I'm talking about. You're not allowed to fool around with other men in the future, understand? Qin Feng was worried about Zhang Kuku when he thought about her late stage of acting like an idiot. Don't worry about that. Kuku isn't a fickle woman. I'll only feed big brother Qin Feng. If another man dares to touch me, I'll call big brother Qin Feng to take care of him. Zhang Kuku pouted mischievously. Every single expression on her face could be captured and made into a sticker pack. Zhang Kuku was an adorable and lively woman. Qin Feng doted on Zhang Kuku even more after he had sex with Zhang Kuku. With this clown around, Qin Feng would die of laughter. All right, I won't tell them about your mistake for the time being. Don't worry, just be a good girl and listen to me from now on. Qin Feng patted Zhang Kuku's head. Zhang Kuku nodded obediently. Qin Feng liked this little girl more and more. He pulled her to the dining car and said, You must be exhausted. Let's go eat something to replenish your energy. Zhang Kuku's eyes lit up the moment she arrived at the dining car. Her hands were grabbing different delicacies while her eyes were glued to the other food. She looked like a reincarnated hungry ghost. Qin Feng wanted to laugh. Big brother Qin Feng, You must be tired too. You should eat more. Zhang Kuku had changed. She used to annoy Qin Feng for no reason, but now, she acted cute and fed Qin Feng food. Qin Feng purposely sucked on Zhang Kuku's finger while eating the cake. Zhang Kuku felt as if she was electrocuted. She looked at Qin Feng shyly and took another piece of cake to feed Qin Feng. Kuku Zhengshui, where have you been? Rao Sherman and the other two girls suddenly walked toward them. They had not seen them since they went to the washroom. Zhang Kuku, who had always been as bold as a tiger, was frightened like a frightened rabbit when she saw Rao Sherman. Zhang Kuku went to Qin Feng's side and secretly pulled the corner of Qin Feng's shirt. She raised her head and looked at Qin Feng with a pitiful expression. Qin Feng patted Zhang Kuku's head lovingly. He smiled at the three girls and said, I went to the washroom just now and heard you guys fighting outside. I wanted to come out and help, but all of you were gone by the time I came out. As for Kuku, I don't know where she went. She just came to look for me. Qin Feng's ability to fabricate lies had reached the acme of perfection. Therefore, the three girls did not suspect anything. If he told Rao Sherman and the other two girls that Qin Feng and Zhang Kuku were the ones who had banged in the women's washroom, the three girls would be in disbelief. I get angry every time I talk about those two bastards. How dare they try to hit on me? I'll crush their balls with my foot. Ao Xiaowan's temper flared up again when she mentioned Henry and Tom. Qin Feng couldn't bear to listen to her anymore, so he hastily coughed. Ao Xiaowan suddenly froze. Her originally cold face and arrogant aura suddenly dissipated. She trotted into Qin Feng's arms and hit Qin Feng's chest sweetly. Darling, you're so handsome tonight. Rao Sherman and Ma Xinxin rolled their eyes. They were speechless. Zhang Kuku alone was enough for the two girls. Now there was Ao Xiaowan. Zhang Kuku seems to be very quiet tonight. There must be something fishy going on. Qin Feng chatted with the four girls as they ate. The atmosphere was very warm and sweet. Later, Henry and Tom walked back supporting each other. When everyone saw that the two of them seemed to have just returned from the battlefield, they were all stunned. Director Henry, Director Tom, are you all right? Several staff members from Can Film Group hurried to help the two of them. Even they couldn't figure out what the two directors and director had done tonight. The two of them happened to walk past Rao Sherman and the other two girls. When they saw the three girls chatting and joking with Zheng Shui and ignoring them, Henry and Tom were so angry that their noses became crooked. And nothing. I went to the washroom with Director Tom and accidentally fell. Although Henry was angry, he didn't dare to tell them the truth. Otherwise, it would be too embarrassing. Sighs could be heard from the surroundings. Everyone doubted Harry's words. Henry and Tom had skated several times tonight, and only the two of them had skated. No one else had skated. Besides, the ground was not slippery at all. Could it be that Henry and Tom were wearing the skateboarding shoes that Grandma had given them? Moreover, even if they had slipped, they shouldn't have fallen to this extent, right? Henry and Tom also felt everyone's strange gazes. The two of them were too embarrassed to stay. Not only did they fail to pick up girls tonight, but they were also trampled on by several girls. Just thinking about it made them feel pain in the balls. However, they really felt pain in the balls. What? Director Tom, why did you touch my chest? Henry was about to leave so that he wouldn't make a fool of himself here. However, before he could leave, Tom suddenly put his hand into Henry's suit and groped his chest. Henry was so disgusted that he quickly pushed Tom. Tom staggered and almost fell. When he steadied himself again, his eyes became a little blurred. Suddenly, he pounced on several long-legged girls in the crowd. Ah! A burst of exclamations came from the crowd. Most of them were women's screams. This Tom's behavior was really too shameless. He wanted to molest women in the hall in public? Was there something wrong with his brain? Hee hee. Beauties, big-breasted beauties don't run. Big brother is very big. Let big brother hug you. The drug in Tom's body took effect. In fact, it should have taken effect a long time ago. However, after being beaten up by Ao Xiaowan and Ma Xinxin, Tom and Henry lost control of their emotions. The drug also delayed some time. Fuck. These two American men are really perverts. That Henry in front peeped at Coco's skirt. This beast is even more shameless. What he said disgusted me. The staff from Hong Kong's media of millions couldn't stand it anymore. Some of them wanted to rush up and beat Tom up. However, before they could do so, Henry suddenly transformed. There are so many sexy girls here. They are all mine tonight. Everyone, line up, and let me take off your clothes one by one. Chapter 932. Everyone in the party was dumbfounded. They had never seen anyone as showy as Henry and Tom. Director Henry, wake up. You can't do this. Director Tom, that madam is the CEO's lover. You can't hug her. The employees of Can Film and Television dropped their jaws to the floor. Some of them came back to their senses and tried to stop Henry and Tom. However, Henry and Tom seemed to be possessed. They beat up anyone who tried to stop them. Crazy. Director Henry and Director Tom are crazy. Let's go. We shouldn't get involved in this mess. Half of the employees of Can Film and Television ran away. They couldn't afford to offend Henry and Tom, and they were too ashamed to show their faces. The noisy and crowded party was emptied in an instant. Most of the women in the party had run away. Only Qin Feng and the four beauties were left. Henry and Tom looked at each other and started kissing each other. Then they hugged each other and kissed each other. The two of them kissed wildly while touching each other's body. That scene was so unbearable to the eyes that Rauscher Man and the other three girls almost vomited when they saw it. Mr. Zheng, let's go back. Sister Ling couldn't stand it anymore. She came to ask for Qin Feng's opinion. Sister Ling could tell that Sherman and Kiki listened to Zheng Shuai's words. American men really know how to play. I don't even dare to try this. Qin Feng chuckled as he glanced at Henry and Tom. Then he led the crowd away. Qin Feng walked at the front with the four women surrounding him. A dozen employees of Hong Kong's House of Millions media followed him. They spat on the floor and cursed when they left. After leaving the banquet hall, everyone returned to their rooms. Qin Feng and Ma Xinxin stayed in the same suite. Ma Xinxin danced for a long time tonight and was clearly tired. Once she returned to the suite, she went straight to her room to rest. Qin Feng lay on the sofa and didn't disturb Ma Xinxin. He looked at the bustling yet unfamiliar night outside the window. Suddenly, he remembered the women in China. They must be missing him. One woman's face after another flashed through Qin Feng's mind. Suddenly, Han Ying's face appeared in his mind. Qin Feng felt a stab of pain in his heart. After going to Jincheng City to see Father Han, he had been looking for Han Ying, but he couldn't find her. The amount of hedonist points required to locate her was simply too shocking. Master, the divination stone's divination function hasn't been used yet. Little Pig suddenly said. Qin Feng abruptly sat up straight. Of course, he knew what Little Pig meant. With a slight thought, Qin Feng took out the sky-occupying spirit stone from the emerald spirit ring. Divine Han Ying's situation. With a thought from Qin Feng, the originally dim sky-occupying spirit stone suddenly radiated white light in all directions. The air around the stone also changed, and circles of strange energy waves flowed around it. Buzz! A ball of light and shadow appeared, and a series of images appeared on it. It seemed to be a department store. The items inside were all written in English. A tall woman stood in front of the cashier. She wore a uniform, black stockings, and her wavy hair was tied behind her head. Her face was exquisite and charming, and she could easily attract a man's gaze. However, Qin Feng saw a trace of haggardness on her face. The arrogance of a queen was nowhere to be seen, and her eyes lost their former brilliance and sharpness. They were somewhat hollow, and it was the look of a person who had lost all hope and pursuits. Buzz! The image ended there. With a flash of white light, the sky-occupying spirit stone suddenly became dim again. Qin Feng's heart was a bit heavy. He never thought that the proud and unruly Queen Han Ying, who once shook the Yun province's business circle, would become like this. Qin Feng knew very well that Han Ying's change was all because of him. This wasn't the real Han Ying. She shouldn't have lived such a simple life. Qin Feng wanted to find her and return what he owed her. Qin Feng put the sky-occupying spirit stone away, then took out his phone and browsed Weibo. Qin Feng was not very familiar with the United States. The image that appeared on the sky-occupying spirit stone just now might be in the United States, because the words on the shelf were all written in English, and there was the United States flag hanging on the ceiling. Qin Feng carefully recalled the image that he saw just now. He did not want to miss any detail. Then, he expressed the image in words and posted it on his Weibo. Qin Feng's identity as Zheng Shuai had 15 million followers. He wanted to use these powerful Zheng Shuai fans to help him find the shop that appeared on the sky-occupying spirit stone. Qin Feng wanted to know the country, the specific city, the specific street, and the location of the shop. Buzz! Qin Feng's phone vibrated as soon as he posted the Weibo post. It was a WeChat message from Zhang Kuku. Big brother Qin Feng, I'm outside. Is XNXN asleep? I'm here to serve you. Qin Feng was so shocked that he almost threw his phone away when he saw the message. Is Zhang Kuku really going to be obedient to me? It was the dead of the night, and it was the perfect time to be intimate. Big brother Qin Feng, is XNXN asleep? Qin Feng opened the door quietly. Zhang Kuku, who was wearing a red coat and a pair of cotton slippers, ran into the room. Kuku, why are you here? Qin Feng feigned ignorance. Big brother Qin Feng, let's go to your room first. I'll be in big trouble if XNXN finds out. Zhang Kuku, who was usually carefree, was as timid as a mouse at this moment. Qin Feng did not make things difficult for Zhang Kuku. He pulled her into his room. Swoosh. As soon as they entered the room, Qin Feng saw Zhang Kuku unzipping her red coat. It was completely empty inside. Big brother Qin Feng, come quickly. I still need to sneak back home. Zhang Kuku was lying on the bed with her arms and legs spread out. She stared at Qin Feng with her big watery eyes. The corner of Qin Feng's mouth twitched violently. This Zhang Kuku is really something. The filming of Hedonist Sovereign had officially begun in the United States. Early in the morning, Qin Feng accompanied the beauties to the bustling Chinatown after having breakfast. More than half of the Chinese who worked hard in the United States gathered in Chinatown. They were all Chinese. Walking on the bustling street, Qin Feng and the others felt a sense of familiarity with this place. The staff from Hong Kong's House of Millions Media were already in position and ready to start filming. A few people from Americans Can Film Group had also arrived. However, Henry and Tom did not come. They were beaten up and went crazy last night. It was estimated that they would need to stay in the hospital for a few days before they could recover. Kuku, why are you so listless? Did you steal a man last night? When the show was about to start, Rao Sherman noticed Zhang Kuku was yawning, so she joked with her. Zhang Kuku could barely open her eyes. When she heard Rao Sherman's words, she was so shocked that she jumped. I didn't steal a man. Sherman, don't accuse Kuku. Rao Sherman was startled by Zhang Kuku's reaction. I was just joking. Why are you so agitated? Don't tell me you really went to steal a man? Zhang Kuku's face turned pale. This girl was usually fearless, but she was very worried about this matter. Qin Feng felt sorry for Zhang Kuku when he saw her scared out of her wits. He walked up to her and said with a smile, Kuku must have stayed up all night to play games. This girl has become a gaming maniac. Zhang Kuku nodded hastily. Yes. Kuku played with the tablet last night, but she couldn't defeat the big boss. Kuku was so mad. Rao Sherman did not think much of it. She glared at Zhang Kuku and said, You know that you have to film today, but you still played games. You better put away your tablet tonight. Zhang Kuku stole a glance at Qin Feng and gave him a grateful look. Qin Feng walked up to her and patted her head. Then, he patted Rao Sherman's head. Rao Sherman blushed. Due to Cher's absence, Ma Xinxin took over Cher's role. When they were filming in Hong Kong, Ao Shawan was forcefully transformed from a passerby to a female lead. Ma Xinxin wanted to forcefully give herself the identity of a female lead. Now that her dream had come true, Ma Xinxin was overjoyed. The scenes in the United States were also extremely melodramatic. Qin Feng and the female leads were separated for a period of time. Then, they came to the United States at the same time and met each other on the streets of the United States. The female leads believed that it was fate, and from then on, they followed Qin Feng for the rest of their lives. The shooting had already begun. When the staff of Can Film Group saw Qin Feng and the others' performance, every one of them was dumbfounded. Is this China's blockbuster movie? This should be a documentary about animal world, right? The staff of Can Film Group had their horizons broadened. They were the top staff in the international film and television industry, but it was their first time witnessing such a unique filming style. At first, they thought it was lousy, but gradually they found it interesting. In the end, they realized that it was a unique style. An ordinary director would not be able to produce such a scene, even if he wanted to. Since Qin Feng and the others had come all the way to the United States to film, Qin Feng acted with an extremely serious attitude. Qin Feng felt that his acting skills were absolutely not bad. In fact, he was even better than those who were trained in acting. In addition, it was the first time for Rao Sherman and the others to act, so their acting skills were very lacking. Qin Feng felt that he was shouldering a heavy responsibility. The box office of this movie was completely reflected by his acting skills. Qin Feng walked in the bustling Chinatown, and several cameras shot him from all angles. The autumn wind rustled Qin Feng's long hair. Although the surroundings were lively and bustling, Qin Feng looked up at the sky at a 45-degree angle and slowly walked forward. His eyes were gloomy with a touch of disappointment. Every movement and expression of his vividly reflected the strange and lonely feeling of being in a foreign land. A trace of sadness was brought into the hearts of the cameramen, and the staff of Can Film Group also became serious. Qin Feng's acting skills were not just for show. Even though he did not speak, everyone could feel his emotions. Chapter 933. Big Brother Zheng Shuai, please stop for a moment. My shoelaces are untied. Wait for me to tie them before you leave. Then we'll have a chance encounter. Zhang Keku's anxious voice came from the right side of the intersection. Qin Feng's performance was so good, but it was ruined by Zhang Keku's words. Keku, are you stupid? We're just running into each other by chance. Qin Feng shouted at Zhang Keku. Zhang Keku was very obedient to Qin Feng now. She tied her shoelaces and said, "It's just a chance encounter. That's why I asked Big Brother Zheng Shuai to wait for a moment. Otherwise, when I'm done tying my shoelaces and you're already at the next intersection, the name of the movie will be changed to The Next Intersection." Zhang Keku said in a serious manner. Qin Feng rolled his eyes. "I'm at the next chicken restaurant." Although Qin Feng was a little angry, he suppressed his anger when he saw the pitiful Zhang Keku and said, "Keku, you can't just randomly add lines and plot lines. Do you think the audience is stupid? We're just running into each other by chance. You can't talk to each other before you meet them. Big Brother Zheng Shuai, Keku knows. I won't talk nonsense anymore." Zhang Keku hastily covered her mouth. Her cute and mischievous look made Qin Feng want to pinch her cheeks. The shooting started again. Chinatown was crowded with people. This was the base of the Chinese people. When they saw that the actors were Chinese, they naturally came to watch the show. Wow! Is that the Pretty Girls group? The happiest thing in America is listening to their songs before I go to bed every night. I feel at home when I fall asleep. It's really Rao Sherman and Zhang Keku. Aren't they singers? Why did they change their career to film? Is that the male lead? He's so ugly. What the fuck? Do you know how to appreciate beauty? That man is Zheng Shuai, the #1 celebrity in China's entertainment circle. His appearance has become the standard of the new handsome guy. He even led the Chinese to redefine the new type of beauty. Zheng Shuai, Zheng Shuai. That's my husband, Zheng Shuai. Wow. Zheng Shuai's fans are here to welcome him. The superstar Zheng Shuai is here to film in Chinatown. Zheng Shuai's current level of popularity shocked even himself. Even when she came to the United States to film, she attracted hundreds of fans to watch her every minute. Originally, today's plot was mainly shot in Chinatown. What they wanted was the bustling street view of Chinatown that stretched as far as the eye could see. However, with so many fans surrounding them, the originally artistic street was completely blocked. The cameraman was unable to capture the scene. Dear fans of Zheng Shuai and fans of the Pretty Girls, we feel very cordial to be able to see you in the United States. Today the Pretty Girls and I will be filming here. We will be shooting the entire street of Chinatown. I hope that everyone can disperse and continue doing what you are doing. The surroundings were in an uproar. Others wanted to shout, but their voices were drowned out by the tide of voices. Only Qin Feng's voice was as loud and clear as a bell. It was as if it had a penetrating power, and was clearly transmitted into the ears of the crowd. Celebrity Zheng Shuai is really filming. Everyone get out of the way. Don't disturb his filming. Buck up, pretty girls. You guys can sing well. I believe that you will be great in filming too. Qin Feng's influence was beyond everyone's expectation. After his speech, the previously crowded street returned to normal in a matter of minutes. However, the fans did not leave. They acted as if they did not recognize Qin Feng and the pretty girls. They walked back and forth on the street like pedestrians. No matter where they walked, they would always wander around the vicinity of the film crew. Everything was ready, and the filming began. Qin Feng once again portrayed a faint sense of sadness and loneliness in the bustling and unfamiliar street. This time, Zhang Kuku did not speak nonsense. Qin Feng walked to a crossroad and suddenly stopped. He turned right and saw Zhang Kuku, who was squatting on the ground tying her shoelaces. The corner of Qin Feng's mouth twitched subtly. How long is this girl's shoelaces? According to the original plot, Zhang Kuku would turn around at the crossroad as soon as Qin Feng turned around. Then, the two of them would look at each other affectionately. Their faces would be filled with expressions of shock, surprise, longing, touched, and warmth. They had to portray the emotions and feelings of a sudden encounter in a foreign country. This was an extremely complicated scene that tested Qin Feng's acting skills. However, Qin Feng was not worried at all because he believed in his acting skills. However, Qin Feng changed his mind when the filming started. No matter how good one's acting skills and abilities were, it would be like playing the lute to a cow when he met a pig-like teammate. Zhang Kuku had been squatting on the ground tying her shoelaces for 2 minutes. She did not even raise her head to look at Qin Feng. How was Qin Feng supposed to meet her by chance? Superstar Kuku, look up. Look up. A few fans could not stand it anymore. They pretended to be passers-by and reminded Zhang Kuku anxiously. Just now, someone said that even if the pretty girls changed their career to film, they would still be great. Is that person still around? Oh, a coincidence. A coincidence. Zhang Kuku snapped back to reality after being reminded. She quickly raised her head and looked at Qin Feng. This was supposed to be a coincidence, but it was a coincidence when they turned around and looked at each other. Now it was also a coincidence when Qin Feng looked down at Zhang Kuku. This scene was a little strange. Qin Feng lowered his head and peered at Zhang Kuku's fair skin. Zhang Kuku raised her head and looked at Qin Feng. Then, she uncontrollably shifted her gaze downward and stared at Qin Feng's crotch. Zhang Kuku was almost played to death by Qin Feng last night. She was curious whether the space in his pants was that big. It shouldn't be able to fit, right? Qin Feng regained his senses. He remembered that he still had to perform the 5 different emotions. But he did not have the urge to continue acting when he was looking down at Zhang Kuku. Before Qin Feng could perform, Zhang Kuku suddenly pounced on him and kept uttering, which startled Qin Feng. Kuku, what the fuck are you doing? Qin Feng could no longer stand Zhang Kuku. He was infuriated by Zhang Kuku. Zhang Kuku put on an aggrieved expression, and tears were about to fall from her eyes. I just want to act properly so that I won't be a burden to you. The 5 Os that I uttered are different tones and expressions. They express 5 different emotions: shock, surprise, longing, touched, and warmth. Big brother Zheng Shuai, can't you feel it? Qin Feng rolled his eyes. He was too tired to retort. The staff of Hong Kong's House of Millions fainted. Some of them even foamed at the mouth. The staff of Can Film and Television were stunned for a while. Then they burst into laughter. The fans who were walking around on the street also burst into laughter. It was their first time witnessing such a scene. Although it was silly, it was hilarious. Director, I think it's better to change the first person we meet in this scene. Qin Feng made a firm decision after pondering for a while. Zhang Kuku felt wronged as she sat at the side. She felt that her acting was very good, but the others didn't appreciate it. Qin Feng's suggestion received everyone's approval. Today was Ma Xinxin's first day of filming. She volunteered to be the first woman Qin Feng met in America. This was the third time they were filming this scene. It was the same Chinatown, the same pace, and the faintly melancholic mood. Qin Feng felt that the unfamiliar Chinatown was now familiar to him. At the crossroads, Qin Feng slowly turned right, and the camera switched to Ma Xinxin, who turned left at the same time. Ma Xinxin was wearing a blue cheongsam. She was tall and sexy. She had light makeup on her face. Her every movement had the aura of a popular singer on the bund. Qin Feng inwardly let out a sigh of relief. Ma Xinxin's performance was pretty good, but his heart hadn't completely calmed down. It started to beat wildly. Zheng Shuai, do you want to speak first or should I? Should I run into your arms and cry? Or should I stand here and stare blankly for a few seconds? Should I kiss you later? Don't touch my butt when you hug me. There are too many people here. The corner of Qin Feng's mouth twitched. XN is such an honest girl. Why does she say whatever she wants? Everyone laughed, especially when they heard that Qin Feng liked to touch Ma Xinxin's butt. Everyone looked at Qin Feng strangely. Some people even drooled while staring at Ma Xinxin's big butt. Ahem. Director, why don't I meet Rao Sherman first? In the fourth reshoot, Qin Feng changed to the third female lead. However, the number of onlookers increased. Instead of feeling bored, the more they watched, the more excited they became. Many people were looking forward to the screening of this movie. Everyone couldn't wait to see the complete plot of the movie. After walking through the long Chinatown, Qin Feng felt his legs were sore. Both of them turned around at the same time and were stunned. Rao Sherman was wearing a red cheongsam. Her lips were also as red as the cheongsam. She stood on the bustling street, but she didn't seem to belong to this street. Time seemed to stand still at this moment. The crowd became insignificant and didn't even exist in this time and space. Only Qin Feng and Rao Sherman were left on the street. They looked at each other affectionately from a distance of 5 meters, and both shed a tear. Tears of excitement rolled down Qin Feng's face. He finally met a woman who could act normally with him. Rao Sherman didn't know why she was crying. When she saw Qin Feng crying, she also wanted to cry. Sherman? Is that you? Qin Feng's voice was light, but it contained all kinds of emotions. Qin Feng? I'm not dreaming, am I? Rao Sherman acted very well. Her red lips were slightly parted, looking lovely and charming. Qin Feng slowly walked to Rao Sherman. He stretched out his trembling hands and gently held Rao Sherman's charming face. Sherman, it's really you. This is great. We finally meet again. This is fate. Chapter 934. Qin Feng's hoarse voice was laced with a hint of longing. His words silenced the crowd. Everyone was captivated by Qin Feng's infectious performance. Of course I remember. I said. If fate wills it, let's meet again. I didn't expect that we would meet again. Yeah. I thought I'd never see you again because we didn't. Qin Feng was halfway through his sentence when Rao Sherman suddenly reached out her slender hand and placed it beside Qin Feng's mouth. Young hero Qin Feng, please stop. I understand. Looking at the blushing Rao Sherman, Qin Feng gently pulled her into his arms. Beauty Sherman, do you really understand? Rao Sherman nodded shyly. Since we didn't do it that day, it's God's will that we meet again today. If we don't do it today, we'll be defying God's will. Qin Feng said seriously. Rao Sherman lifted her head shyly and gazed at Qin Feng with her big watery eyes. Qin Feng lowered his head and kissed Rao Sherman's bright red lips. The crowd was in an uproar. Rao Sherman and Zheng Shuai kissed for real. There was no such thing as using a substitute. The kissing scene was heartfelt. This chance encounter met everyone's expectations. Whether it was Qin Feng or Rao Sherman, their acting skills were outstanding. A group of young girls burst into tears. It looked like they were moved to the depths of their souls by this performance. However, only those who had cried could understand how painful it was to see their favorite celebrity kissing another woman. After kissing for an unknown period of time, a sudden shout broke the tranquil beauty of this moment. Ah, 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 ah. Zhang Kuku used 5 different high-pitched screams to express 5 different emotions. Qin Feng and Rao Sherman, who were kissing, stopped abruptly. Their passion was instantly extinguished by Zhang Kuku's screams. Who's this crazy woman? Qin Feng glared at Zhang Kuku angrily. Rao Sherman didn't help Zhang Kuku this time. It was rare for her to have a passionate kiss with Qin Feng. But it was interrupted by Zhang Kuku. I don't know her either. Why don't we go somewhere else? I don't want to get infected by her. That's right. Let's go. Qin Feng pulled Rao Sherman and left. Zhang Kuku only came back to her senses after they had gone far away. Ah, great hero Qin Feng, big sister, wait for me, I'm Kiki. Didn't I say I'd show up after meeting big sister? Kiki didn't act recklessly this time. Zhang Kuku chased after them with all her might. She yelled and screamed as she chased after them. The scene was so hilarious that everyone burst into laughter. Not only was Qin Feng angry, but Ma Xinxin and Ao Shaowan were also furious when they saw Zhang Kuku messed up the scene again. The 2 girls hadn't appeared yet, and they wanted to kiss Qin Feng when they bumped into each other. Young hero Qin Feng, don't run. Shaowan is still waiting for you. Ao Shaowan hastily shouted when he saw Qin Feng passing by like a gust of wind. There was a song that was sung very well. Love is like a gust of wind. Once it blows, it leaves. Ao Shaowan felt that Qin Feng's love was like this. What should I do? Director, what should I do? It was Ma Xinxin's first time shooting a movie. She was depressed when she saw the chaotic scene, and the plot had completely deviated from the original plot. She jumped up and down and waved at the director. The director's vision darkened and he fainted. Is this a movie? Why does it remind me of Wenzhou Zhejiang? The Jiangnan leather factory closed down. That bastard boss ate, drank, whored and gambled. He owes him 350 million yuan, and ran away with his sister-in-law. Haha, this is so funny. I'm laughing my guts out. Is this really a movie based on the novel Hedonist Sovereign? It's even funnier than the novel. When will it be screened? I want to watch it. I must watch it when the time comes. Rao Sherman and Zheng Shuai's acting skills are amazing. Zhang Ku is a comedian. I've never seen those 2 beauties before, but they're so funny. Qin Feng held Rao Sherman's hand as they ran under the hot sun. The onlookers around completely exploded, and their laughter surged like a tide. Even the staff of the Cannes Film Group in the United States were grinning from ear to ear. Several Americans fell to the ground and rolled back and forth with laughter. No one stopped the movie, because the director had already fainted. Zhang Kuku's stamina was strong enough. She chased Qin Feng and Rao Sherman for 5 to 6 streets before the 3 of them ran back. Rao Sherman couldn't run anymore. She bent over and panted. Zhang Kuku finally caught up to Qin Feng. She held Qin Feng's arm tightly and refused to let go. Big brother Qin Feng, I'm Kuku. I'm Sherman's little sister. Did you forget that you touched my feet and winked at me when we were picking herbs in the mountains? Qin Feng was tired. He rolled his eyes at Zhang Kuku and didn't want to say anything. Ao Shaowan and Ma Xinxin finally regained their senses and ran to Qin Feng's side. Is that big brother Qin Feng? What a coincidence. Are you also killing people in Chinatown? Let's go together. Ao Shaowan was very dedicated to her work. Although she wasn't a professional actress, since she had embarked on the path of acting, she had to finish what she started. Even at this time, she still wanted to finish the scene where they met by chance. Ma Xinxin stomped her feet anxiously. Today was her first day of acting, but she wasn't satisfied with the scene. She didn't even say a word, and she realized that she didn't have any screen time at all. Therefore, in order to steal the spotlight, Ma Xinxin covered Qin Feng's face with her hand and smiled foolishly at the camera. Ma Xinxin was relieved. Not only did the laughter not stop, but it became even more fervent. The director from Hong Kong Media of Millions finally regained his consciousness after being dizzy for a while. When he saw the scene in front of him, he was so shocked that he shouted, "Cut!" The staff of Hong Kong Media of Millions heaved a sigh of relief. They felt as if they had just fought a war on the battlefield. Qin Feng heaved a long sigh of relief. If they continued acting, he would bury Zhang Kuku alive. Phew! I'm finally done. I'm so tired. Rao Sherman felt drained. But when she thought about it, she realized that she didn't do anything. Ma Xinxin and Ao Shaowan went to the side and sat down to rest. Zhang Kuku ran to the director happily and said with a smile, "Director, I did a good job just now, didn't I? I feel like I've exerted all my strength." The director had just regained his consciousness, but Zhang Kuku's words made him dizzy again. Today's filming was over, because the director and cameraman didn't dare to continue filming. Everyone started to pack up and leave. The staff from Kin Film Group found the director from Hong Kong Media of Millions. After a brief conversation, the director understood the intention of the staff from Kin Film Group. They were interested in the movie Hedonist Sovereign and wanted to buy the American copyright so that it could be broadcasted at the same time in China. This news stunned the director from Hong Kong. What's wrong with this world? Could it be that the last stage of Chinibyu can really be transmitted through the air? The director felt that he couldn't understand this industry anymore. Qin Feng didn't care about the film copyright, so he left it to the director to negotiate. When the fans saw that the filming was over, they surrounded Qin Feng and the others to take pictures with them. Most of them asked about the screening time of Hedonist Sovereign. Although the shooting of this movie completely deviated from the plot of the novel, everyone liked this kind of funny and relaxed shooting style, and the ridiculous plot development. Qin Feng and the others didn't put on airs like celebrities, but Ao Shaowan didn't like being surrounded by so many people. She would yell at them to get lost, but no one was willing to leave. Therefore, Ao Shaowan became anxious. She said that she would bring people to kill them, and then she said that she would find out everyone's background and come to cause trouble. However, Ao Shaowan was dressed like a pure and virtuous lady. Basically, the Chinese in America didn't know her. No one believed that Ao Shaowan was telling the truth. Everyone thought that she was still immersed in her role in the movie and couldn't come back to her senses. No one hated Ao Shaowan because of her dirty words. Instead, many people became her fans. Some daring grandfathers liked Ao Shaowan very much and patted her head as if she was their own granddaughter. Ao Shaowan was so angry that her face turned pale. Her nose was so crooked that it couldn't be pulled back. However, she couldn't do anything about it. She couldn't fight with these grandfathers and grandmothers, could she? Zhang Kuku was the happiest. She knew that her acting was very good. She definitely had the basic qualities and acting skills of a popular movie star. Otherwise, why would so many people like her? After chatting with the fans for a while, the Hong Kong director and the people from the Kin Group came to an agreement. Then, they bid farewell to the fans and rushed back to the hotel. Rao Sherman and Zhang Kuku had traveled more than half of Chinatown. When they returned to the hotel, they went straight to their room to rest. Ma Xinxin and Ao Shaowan also went to bed. Qin Feng lay on the sofa in the living room. He opened his Weibo and saw hundreds of thousands of comments. "Honey, are you looking for that place? I think it's in a small town in America." "Honey, I'm 100% sure it's in America. I'm asking my friend from the Huaxia Intelligence Agency to locate the exact location. I'll let you know as soon as I get any news. Honey, remember to come home for dinner after you finish filming." There were so many comments that Qin Feng was dazzled. He didn't know when it started, but Qin Feng's female fans started to call him honey. He even saw some male Weibo accounts calling him honey. Qin Feng was disgusted. "Honey, I found it. It's a chain supermarket in the small town of Fulga in America. It's more than 200 kilometers away from Watson. It's called 7 Days Chain Supermarket. There's only one chain supermarket in Fulga. You can find it by asking anyone there. Honey, I used all my friends to find it. Come home early after you finish filming today. I'll wait for you in bed after I've washed up." Qin Feng checked the comments one by one. Most of them were comments that teased Qin Feng and had nothing to do with Han Yingying's location. Chapter 935. The town of Volga, a remote and peaceful place in the southern part of the United States. The land here was vast and mainly used for breeding and ranching. Many Americans would come here for a road trip. Looking at the endless prairie, their mood would instantly lighten up. In the town of Volga, there was the only supermarket chain that was open 24 hours a day. The people of the town basically came to this supermarket chain to buy daily necessities and snacks. At 6 o'clock in the evening, the sun had already started to set. The town of Volga was shrouded in the afterglow. The prairie was half dyed in gold, and every piece of land was a picturesque scene. "Welcome," the censor at the entrance of the supermarket said in English. Two men wearing black leather jackets and black leather pants walked in. They were both about 1.8 meters tall. One had a yellow afro, and the other had a black braid. Just looking at them would make people feel a little scared. "Give me 2 packs of Old Captain." The man with the braid was a black man. He threw some US dollars on the cashier and chewed gum in his mouth. He had a sloppy attitude. Han Ying picked up the 2 US dollars on the table and showed a professional smile. "Sorry, I don't have enough money." "Pa." The man with the yellow afro slammed his palm on the cashier and stared at Han Ying fiercely. "Fuck. I only brought this little money with me today. Hurry up and give me the cigarettes. Don't talk nonsense. Believe it or not, I'll kill you." Han Ying was startled by this sudden action. Her tall and sexy body trembled slightly. However, she quickly calmed down. Han Ying was a queen who had worked hard in the business world. She had once invested more than $1 billion in one sentence. "Sorry. Our supermarket doesn't take credit." Han Ying looked at the man with the afro and said firmly, "Fuck, you're very arrogant, aren't you? Do you know who we are? We're in the mafia. Believe it or not, I'll smash your store." The man with the afro's eyes almost popped out. He bared his yellow teeth and looked at Han Ying. The black man with the braid suddenly stopped his partner, who was about to make a move. His gaze fell on Han Ying's curvaceous body. He rubbed his chin and laughed evilly. "Leon, why are you so fierce? Don't scare the little sister." The man with the afro froze for a moment, then looked Han Ying up and down seriously. When he saw that Han Ying had the appearance of an Eastern beauty, but had the majestic bust of a Western woman, he almost drooled. "Aka, you have good eyesight. Why didn't I realize that she was a beauty just now?" "Haha." Leon also laughed vulgarly. At this time, Aka's gaze was fixed on Han Ying's black stockings. It looked like it wanted to pounce on Han Ying and rip her stockings apart. Han Ying instinctively took 2 steps back. She was a little scared. This was a remote town in America. Han Ying had no one to rely on. She was currently working the night shift, and the store's security guard had just left. She was the only one guarding the store. If the 2 men in front of her wanted to do something, Han Ying had no way of resisting. You guys should go to another store to buy cigarettes. We're all sold out." Han Ying said. "Little sister, don't lie to your brothers, okay? Isn't that the Old Captain over there? How could they be sold out?" Leon smiled and pouted. Behind Han Ying was a row of display cabinets with cigarettes in them. You guys wait a moment." Han Ying was a very smart woman. She wouldn't offend Leon and Aka in this situation. Even if the 2 of them didn't have enough money, Han Ying was still prepared to give them cigarettes. As long as they took the cigarettes and left, it would be better than anything else. What are you doing? Don't come in." Han Ying had just taken the cigarettes when she suddenly saw Aka run into the cashier area. Han Ying was so scared that the cigarettes fell to the ground. She leaned against the cashier and looked at Aka vigilantly. "Hee, little sister, why are you so nervous? Quickly pick up the cigarettes and give them to me. We have urgent matters to attend to." Aka and Leon's eyes flashed a trace of vulgarity. Han Ying looked around, and there was nothing to defend herself with. She hesitated for a moment, and could only squat down to pick up the cigarettes on the ground. She prayed in her heart that the 2 men would quickly leave after taking the cigarettes. Whoosh! Just as she squatted down, Han Ying heard the sound of a zipper. She immediately raised her head and saw that the tall and strong Aka had unzipped his pants and was unbuckling his belt. What are you doing? Hurry and get out, or else I'll call the police." Han Ying jumped up with a whoosh. She picked up the phone on the table and was about to call the police. Unfortunately, Han Ying felt empty air. It turned out that the landline on the counter had already been taken away by Afro Leon. "Haha. Little sister, don't be afraid. Big brother just wants to play with you. Help big brother lick. Big brother won't hurt you." Aka's belt had already been unbuckled. Seeing that he was about to take off his pants, Leon couldn't hold himself back anymore. With a whoosh, he tore off the black leather shirt on his upper body. Han Ying was so scared that she shivered. She had no one to rely on in this unfamiliar place. Now that she met two tall and strong men, Han Ying didn't even have a chance to escape when she was stuck in the cashier counter, let alone resist. Aka slowly approached Han Ying. He extended his hand and was about to pull Han Ying's hair. Han Ying fell to the ground, buried her head between her knees, and started to cry helplessly. Han Ying had been in America for more than 2 months. She thought she could gradually forget Qin Feng and the crimes she committed by moving to an unfamiliar city. However, Han Ying realized that she was wrong. In this foreign country, Han Ying missed Qin Feng and her relatives and friends in China even more. She couldn't sleep at night and often spaced out at work. Han Ying knew she was finished this time. She thought that if her body was touched, she would just kill herself by banging her head on the wall. Han Ying had only been touched by Qin Feng twice in her life, and those 2 times were by Qin Feng. However, Han Ying was not afraid of Qin Feng. She even swore that she would never let another man touch her in this lifetime. If Qin Feng couldn't forgive her crimes, then she would hide in a place that Qin Feng would never find and live the rest of her life alone. Whoosh! The wind whistled, but it was covered by Aka's evil laughter. But that faintly discernible white light really did appear. Aka's laughter suddenly stopped. He looked at his hands in astonishment. The hands that were about to grab Han Ying's hair. Why did they suddenly disappear? At that moment, Aka didn't feel any pain. He looked at the pair of hands that fell on the floor with an expression of senile dementia. The hands that resembled his own were still twitching on the floor. However, this scene that defied common sense was too horrifying. It made Aka's heart stop for a few seconds. Roar! After a few seconds, the sound of blood spurting could be heard. The blood gushed out like water and instantly dyed the entire floor of the cashier counter red. Aka stood in the pool of blood and screamed his lungs out. At this moment, he finally understood that his hands were cut off. Aka, what are you doing? You stop shouting. Leon had just taken off his shirt and was about to pounce on Han Ying to play with Aka when he saw a scene from hell. He was so scared that his legs trembled. Aka didn't respond. He was in so much pain that he couldn't speak. The entire supermarket was filled with Aka's ghostly cries and wolf howls. Han Ying was so scared that her entire body trembled. All of this happened too quickly. Han Ying didn't even have time to react. She only felt that she was tightly embraced by a warm and strong embrace. She even thought that it was that disgusting man who hugged her, so she struggled instinctively. However, the embrace was too strong. Han Ying couldn't break free at all. Ying, it's alright. It'll be alright. A familiar yet strange voice rang in Han Ying's ears. It was even in Chinese. Han Ying's struggling body suddenly froze. She finally mustered up the courage to open her eyes and saw an ugly and unfamiliar face. Han Ying didn't recognize the man in front of her, but she felt that this man was very familiar. Lying in his embrace gave her an indescribable sense of security. However, he wasn't Qin Feng. Let me go. After a momentary daze, Han Ying began to struggle with all her might. Qin Feng let go of Han Ying. He had already carried Han Ying from the cashier counter to the shelf. Ying, don't go. Wait here for me. Qin Feng pushed Han Ying to a chair beside the shelf and sat down. Then he walked towards Aka and Leon. Aka was still screaming. Leon finally regained his senses. He picked up a metal shelf and smashed it towards Qin Feng. Fuck. You dare to ruin our plans? I'll send you to hell. Qin Feng didn't stop walking. His expression was colder than ice. He walked with large strides towards Leon. Leon flew towards Qin Feng. Bang. The hard metal shelf smashed into Qin Feng's head. Qin Feng didn't dodge. The metal shelf was smashed until it deformed. Qin Feng casually grabbed it and threw it to the side. Han Ying screamed in fright. Although it was her first time seeing Qin Feng, she was still very worried when she saw Qin Feng get hit. Leon suddenly froze. He stared at Qin Feng's head for a while and discovered that there was no blood. There wasn't even a trace of injury. Could it be that this man practiced the legendary Iron Head technique? Bang! Leon's attack ended, but Qin Feng's attack had just begun. Qin Feng threw a punch. It was as if a tiger and a dragon roared. This punch smashed into Leon's abdomen. It directly caved in, and a large mouthful of blood sprayed from Leon's mouth. Ah! Han Ying screamed again. She looked at Qin Feng's back in disbelief. She discovered that this man was very violent and overbearing. It was a very familiar scent. Leon took a punch, but didn't fly out because Qin Feng's other hand grabbed Leon's collar. Leon was like a little chick that Qin Feng lifted high into the air. You dare touch my woman? You'll regret it. Bang! With an angry roar, Qin Feng threw another punch. This punch landed on Leon's chest, and the sound of his sternum breaking could be heard. Chapter 936. Qin Feng was now in Zheng Shuai's appearance. His sinister expression was more like a demon from hell. Leon already started to regret. He regretted his intentions towards Han Ying. He wanted to beg Qin Feng for mercy, but he didn't even have the strength to speak. Sir, don't hit him. It'll kill him. Qin Feng raised his hand, and was about to punch for the third time, when Han Ying's trembling voice came. Qin Feng paused and tilted his head. His sinister and terrifying expression disappeared, and he revealed a brilliant smile. It's okay. I'll take responsibility if you kill him. However, I won't let off the woman who offends me easily. Boom. As soon as he finished speaking, Qin Feng's fist, which was suspended in midair, smashed down. This time, Qin Feng let go and Leon was punched out of the supermarket. His body landed heavily on the ground a dozen or so meters away from the entrance. A moment later, the ground was dyed red with blood, the same color as the setting sun. Han Ying was dumbstruck. She didn't know Zheng Shuai's identity. Hearing the man in front of her say that women who offend him won't have a good ending, Han Ying's heart was in turmoil. She knew that the man in front of her was clearly not Qin Feng. At that moment, her frozen heart slowly melted. Han Ying didn't know what was wrong. Although she didn't want to admit it, she had to admit that she seemed to like this overbearing ugly man in front of her. Qin Feng had already arrived beside Akka. He grabbed with his large hand and pulled the 1.8-meter-tall brawny Akka out of the cash register. Akka was so scared that his entire body trembled. He saw Qin Feng send Leon flying with his own eyes. Akka resisted the sharp pain of his broken hand and said shakily, "Be big brother, don't kill me. I am a member of the American Mafia. Let me live, and this will be over. No, otherwise you won't have a good ending." Bang. Without waiting for Akka to finish his threat, Qin Feng's fist fell and smashed into Akka's crotch. A muffled sound rang out. That was the sound of Akka's balls exploding. In a short 2 minutes, the fight had already ended. However, the supermarket had undergone earth-shattering changes. This place had already become hell. Han Ying was so scared that she wanted to run out. Leon was lying in a pool of blood outside the door, and it was unknown whether he was dead or alive. After Akka's balls exploded, he fainted at the entrance of the store. Han Ying shakily walked in front of Qin Feng and maintained a certain distance from him. You should leave quickly. When the police come, you'll be in trouble. For better or for worse, Han Ying was a woman who had seen great storms and waves. Although she was terrified, her thoughts were still very clear. However, Qin Feng didn't leave. He grabbed Han Ying and pulled her into his embrace. Han Ying started to struggle with all her might. She felt a bit hopeless. She couldn't be so unlucky tonight, could she? 2 bad guys had just fallen, and now an even worse one had come? Don't touch me, I have a man. Han Ying couldn't struggle free, so she could only plead with Qin Feng. Qin Feng quietly hugged Han Ying and smelled her familiar fragrance. When Qin Feng entered the store, he saw Han Ying. At the same time, he saw Akka, who was taking off his pants to violate Han Ying. At that moment, Qin Feng's anger rose from the soles of his feet. Qin Feng's heart was filled with guilt. For him, Han Ying went from a business queen who could summon the wind and summon the rain to hiding here and live a hard and poor life. Qin Feng wondered what would have happened if he had come a bit later and found Han Ying a bit later. Qin Feng didn't dare to think too much. He was afraid he would burn down the entire town of Forga. Ying, it's been hard on you, Qin Feng said next to Han Ying's ear. Han Ying, who was struggling with all her might, suddenly stopped. She felt that this strange man gave her a familiar feeling. Moreover, this man kept calling her Ying. Could it be that he really knew her? Who are you? Why haven't I seen you before? Han Ying asked with a trembling voice. Qin Feng seemed to be talking to himself. Ying, I've been to Jincheng City and met your father. At the time, he told me a lot and gave me the letter you left behind. Qin Feng said a lot, and Han Ying was stunned. Han Ying left that letter for Qin Feng and asked her father to personally give it to Qin Feng. Aside from her father and Qin Feng, no one else knew about this. How did the man before her know? Was he really Qin Feng? Who are you? Han Ying already had an answer in her heart, but she still found it hard to believe. When she was at her most desperate and needed help the most, did Qin Feng really come? But why did he change his appearance? Police sirens sounded in the distance, and 2 police cars drove over. Yet, Qin Feng had a calm and collected expression, as if he didn't see the police cars. Oh no, the police are here. Why you? Hurry and come with me, we'll escape from the back door. Han Ying didn't have time to ask any more questions. She pulled Qin Feng towards the back door of the supermarket. Hurry and leave, the further the better. I won't reveal your information to the police. Han Ying stood at the back door and pushed Qin Feng out. Qin Feng pulled Han Ying into his arms and leaped onto a fiery red steed. His flaming dragon horse raised its front hooves, kicked in the air a few times and galloped away. Fulga town was surrounded by flat plains and horse farms. It was common for people to gallop on horses here, so no one thought it strange that Qin Feng galloped on a horse with Han Ying. However, some people gasped in surprise because they were shocked by the speed of flaming dragon horse. The wind howled in her ears. Han Ying was still in a daze. Han Ying still couldn't confirm the identity of the man hugging her. Though she was 90% sure it was Qin Feng. Why did his appearance change completely? Han Ying's heart was moved at some point. She had enough of the lonely days, and she wanted to go far away with a man. Before, that man could only be Qin Feng. However, at that moment, Han Ying really wanted to follow the man who hugged her tightly. No matter where he went, Han Ying would follow him silently. Ying, come back with me. I'll take you back to China. When we return to Acropolis City, you'll continue to help me manage Royal Group. Qin Feng's calm voice rang in Han Ying's ears. Han Ying was so scared that she almost fell off the horse. Han Ying struggled to turn around, so Qin Feng carried her and turned her around. Han Ying and Qin Feng's eyes met. Qin Feng's appearance changed, but the light in his eyes didn't. Han Ying stared at Qin Feng for a long time, then suddenly threw herself into Qin Feng's arms. Why, you're finally here. I missed you so much. Han Ying cried. Though she didn't make a sound, her shaking shoulders betrayed her. The #1 beauty of Jincheng City, the seemingly invincible strong woman in the business world, was crying like a waterfall at this moment. She had too many grievances in her heart that she couldn't talk about. She betrayed Qin Feng, and that was the last thing she regretted in her life. Therefore, Han Ying chose to hide. She didn't have the face to ask Qin Feng to forgive her. Under the setting sun, a steed that was blood-red than the setting sun galloped. Qin Feng didn't say too much. He chose to keep a lot of words in his heart. He would show them with practical actions in the future. Qin Feng's heart ached as he hugged Han Ying. Han Ying's entire body lay in Qin Feng's embrace. Han Ying had been waiting for this hug for too long. When she was hated by Qin Feng and raped by him, because he mistook her for a frivolous woman, Han Ying wanted this simple, yet extravagant hug after being bullied. All of this happened too suddenly and violently. Han Ying was muddled with joy. She didn't dare move an inch. She was afraid that if she opened her eyes, she would wake up from the dream. After an unknown amount of time, the flaming dragon horse ran back to the Watson area. Qin Feng put the flaming dragon horse away. Riding a horse on the streets of America's capital city was a bit too ostentatious. Han Ying had fallen asleep a long time ago. She hadn't had a good night's sleep since she came to America. She slept very soundly. Tears and a smile hung on the corners of her mouth. Qin Feng didn't wake Han Ying. He carried her all the way to the hotel. Many people on the street turned their heads to look at Qin Feng and Han Ying. Then they sighed. Another flower stuck in cow dung. Qin Feng, where have you been? I couldn't find you the whole night. I called your cell phone, but it was turned off. Did you really worry me to death? As soon as Qin Feng returned to the hotel suite, Ma Xinxin rushed to him anxiously. Han Ying was woken up by the noise. The first thing she did when she opened her eyes was to look at Qin Feng. When she saw that she was still lying in Qin Feng's arms, she realized that it wasn't a dream. Han Ying burst into tears again. Who is this woman? Ma Xinxin looked at the incomparably beautiful woman in Qin Feng's arms and felt like she was going to die from anger. However, when she saw the woman suddenly cry, Ma Xinxin's heart softened. Xian, is Big Brother Qin Feng back yet? Zhang Kuku and the others entered the room. Zhang Kuku was halfway through her sentence when Rao Sherman suddenly screamed. Ah? Isn't this big sister Ying? Han Ying was also shocked when she saw Rao Sherman. Why, you're here too? Han Ying was an extremely smart woman. She looked at the beautiful women in the room and asked after a pause. Why, you're here for vacation with Qin Feng, aren't you? Ma Xinxin, Zhang Kuku, and Ao Shaoan didn't know Han Ying. However, when they saw Qin Feng brought back such a beautiful woman with a good figure, the three women looked a little unhappy. Rao Sherman stayed in Qin Manor when she went to Acropolis City. She often hung out with Han Ying and Su Ruoro. Their relationship was pretty good. Rao Sherman held Han Ying's hand and explained. Ying, long time no see. How are you? We came to America to film. I didn't expect to see you here. Are you here for business? Chapter 937. Han Ying was stumped. She didn't know how to answer. She didn't want to tell anyone about Qin Feng, because Qin Feng had raped Han Ying twice. Although Han Ying didn't blame Qin Feng, these two events left Han Ying with a bit of psychological pressure. Now, she was a bit afraid and resistant towards relationships between men and women. Sure, man. Ying came to discuss business, but since we're all in America, I'll let Ying stay with us. And then we'll go back to China together. Qin Feng knew Han Ying was in a difficult position, so he stood up for her. Han Ying felt a surge of warmth in her heart. She looked at Qin Feng and asked, why you guys are here to shoot a movie? Isn't Sherman a singer? Have you changed your career to film? Big sister Ying, let me introduce you. This is Kuku, my partner. This is Ao Shaoan, the daughter of Hong Kong's Hong sect. This is Qin Feng's manager Ma Xinxin. We're shooting the movie Hedonist Sovereign in Hong Kong. We just came to America to shoot the scenes. We'll be back in a few days. Rao Sherman explained everything in a few words. Han Ying understood. However, she still couldn't figure out why Qin Feng suddenly came to film. Is he here to woo Rao Sherman and the other three beauties? But Han Ying felt something was wrong. If he's here to woo girls, why did he change his face to an ugly one? Although there were many things she couldn't figure out, Han Ying didn't ask. She was a smart woman. If Qin Feng didn't tell her something, she wouldn't ask. I didn't expect you to be a movie actor. You've really surprised me. Han Ying looked at Qin Feng's ugly face and didn't know what to say. Big sister Ying, Qin Feng is the male lead in this movie. Furthermore, he's the best actor out of all the actors. Rao Sherman was delighted by Han Ying's sudden arrival. Soon they started chatting. Han Ying was in a good mood since she met Qin Feng and Rao Sherman in America. She had already forgotten about the bad things that happened not long ago. However, Zhang Kuku and the other two girls were unhappy. They sat on the sofa and ate fruits gloomily. It's getting late. Everyone hasn't had dinner yet, right? Let's go. I'll treat everyone tonight. Eat whatever you want. Qin Feng found Han Ying, and his heart was filled with indescribable excitement. The beauties naturally hadn't eaten. Qin Feng hadn't returned, so how could they be in the mood to eat? The group went to the hotel restaurant and asked for a private room. Qin Feng ordered a bunch of delicacies. He found that Han Ying had lost a lot of weight, so he wanted to help Han Ying regain her nutrition as soon as possible. As his woman, she had to eat and drink well. The meal was very lively. Han Ying had been in the business circle before, so she was very good at socializing. She managed to familiarize herself with Zhang Kuku and the other two women during the meal. The three girls initially rejected Han Ying, but after interacting with her for a while, they realized that Han Ying took care of them like a big sister next door. This made the three girls feel a little embarrassed. After the meal, everyone went back to their rooms. Ma Xinxin's impression of Han Ying had improved. After returning to the house, Ma Xinxin didn't disturb Qin Feng and Han Ying. She took the initiative to go to her own bedroom, leaving Qin Feng and Han Ying alone. The two of them sat on the sofa in the living room. Han Ying suddenly became nervous. "Come, let's go to my room." Qin Feng pulled Han Ying into the room and closed the door. There were only the two of them in the room. A man and a woman were alone in the room. Soon, the room was filled with an ambiguous smell. "Ying, you've suffered a lot lately." Qin Feng pulled Han Ying to the bedside. Perhaps the air conditioner in the room was too hot, or Han Ying was too nervous, but her forehead was covered with a layer of sweat. "Ying, take off your coat. You look very hot." Qin Feng reached out his hand to take off Han Ying's coat. As soon as his hand touched Han Ying's collar, Han Ying jumped, as if she was electrocuted. "Ah, don't touch me." Qin Feng was startled. He quickly withdrew his hand and asked, "Ying, are you okay?" Han Ying regained her senses. She looked at Qin Feng nervously and said, "I am sorry. I am a little nervous." Qin Feng could see that Han Ying was very nervous. Her delicate body trembled slightly. However, Qin Feng didn't understand. Han Ying was fine just a moment ago. Why did she suddenly become like this? Han Ying lowered her head. Tears welled up in her eyes. Ever since she was raped by Qin Feng twice, she had a phobia of contact. As long as someone touched her intimately, Han Ying would resist. There were a few times when she was touched by female colleagues at work. Han Ying would yell and scream, scaring the female colleagues. "Ying, it's okay. I'll protect you from now on. No one will dare to bully you again." Qin Feng shifted his body and leaned against Han Ying. Han Ying was prepared, but her body still trembled violently. Qin Feng was observant. He discovered that Han Ying seemed to have a psychological problem. Moreover, Qin Feng easily guessed the root of the problem. It was most likely related to him raping Han Ying twice. Qin Feng felt an indescribable pain in his heart. He hugged Han Ying even tighter. The two of them hugged each other in silence. Qin Feng felt that talking was unnecessary. Gradually, Han Ying's body trembled less. Finally, she lay quietly in Qin Feng's arms. "Ying, go take a bath. Then have a good sleep. Stay with us in America for the next few days. I'll bring you back after we finish filming." Qin Feng suddenly whispered softly into Han Ying's ear. Han Ying went to the bathroom and showered for a long time before coming out. She wore a white bath towel that only covered the important parts. Her fragrant shoulders and jade-like legs exuded a fragrance in the air. Her long golden hair draped over her shoulders. Her phoenix eyes flowed with a myriad of flirtatious emotions. Qin Feng was instantly mesmerized by her. "Why you go take a bath too?" Han Ying felt Qin Feng's scorching gaze. A blush flashed across her charming face, making her look even more beautiful. Qin Feng quickly regained his senses. He really wanted to carry Han Ying to bed, but in the end, he suppressed the evil fire in his belly. Han Ying still had some trauma in her heart. Qin Feng didn't want to hurt this woman anymore. "Ying, you sleep on the bed. I'll sleep on the sofa tonight." Qin Feng walked out of the room. Han Ying only regained her senses after he closed the door. She thought Qin Feng would push her down again. Although Han Ying wasn't prepared, and was even a little scared, she bravely stood by the bed with the bath towel draped over her. Han Ying was very proactive, but she didn't expect Qin Feng to leave. Han Ying's heart felt very empty. She was an extremely intelligent woman, so she quickly understood Qin Feng's thoughts. Han Ying realized that Qin Feng had really changed. He had become so perfect. In the past, Qin Feng was hedonistic and unruly. He rarely cared about other people's feelings. He had always done things his own way. If he wanted something, he would use all means to obtain it. What made Qin Feng change? Haninging thought it was love. Qin Feng loved me? Haninging wasn't sure, but when she thought of the possibility, tears streamed down her cheeks. Qin Feng lay on the sofa and entered the hedonist sovereign system. There was another important reason why Qin Feng was willing to come to America to film. The William family was in America 1.5 months ago. After Qin Feng was defeated at the Divine Dragon Mountain, he started doing quests with all his might in an attempt to become stronger. The quest Disrupt the William family's plan rewarded him 200,000 hedonist points, an ancient beast remains gene, and a super ability potion. This generous quest reward was very attractive to Qin Feng. Master. The battle pets and the two heroes greeted Qin Feng. Qin Feng chatted with them for a while, and then entered the Hero Alliance interface. The Hero Alliance in the system could be upgraded. It was currently at the initial Brass Alliance level. The Brass Alliance didn't have any special functions, except for the Dragon and Phoenix rankings, which could recruit disciples into the Hero Alliance. After the Brass Alliance was upgraded, it would become the Silver Alliance. The Silver Alliance could communicate. As long as a member of the Hero Alliance, no matter where they were, they could communicate telepathically through the Hero Alliance. Back at Provincial Capital University, Qin Feng let Li Xingtian join the Hero Alliance. At that time, Qin Feng held back a trick. Now that Li Xingtian was captured by the William family, Qin Feng could communicate with him, as long as he upgraded the Hero Alliance. Apart from the disciples of the Hero Alliance, no one else would be able to hear or find out about this conversation. Upgrade. With a thought from Qin Feng, 50,000 hedonist points instantly disappeared. Following that, the Dragon and Phoenix rankings, which were flashing with a brass color, suddenly shone with a silver light. The Divine Dragon and Golden Phoenix, circling above the Dragon and Phoenix rankings, suddenly opened their eyes. With a roar and a cry, the entire Dragon and Phoenix rankings began to slowly expand. The surface area was twice as large as before, and the number of ancient runes around the rankings also increased, making it look more exquisite and majestic. Master. The Brass Alliance has successfully upgraded to the Silver Alliance. Little Pig cried out in surprise. At the same time, all the members of the Hero Alliance who had joined the Hero Alliance heard the roar of a dragon and the cry of a phoenix in their heads, giving them a huge fright. Holy shit! Who is it? Who the fuck is hiding in my head? Come out now if you know what's good for you. Lu Jie was cultivating in the backyard when he suddenly jumped up and screamed. He looked like an idiot. Huang Jingguo was patrolling in Hero City when he was so shocked by the roar of a dragon and the cry of a phoenix that he fell to the ground. Yin Zhe and Zhang Ye were shocked. They were eating, and they didn't even dare to chew the rice in their mouths. Lu Bingbing was leading a team on a mission when she suddenly screamed. It made the male police officer's imagination run wild. They thought that their captain had put something dirty in her body. Ren Xiaoyao, Hua Yan, and Yin Wushuang simultaneously realized that something was wrong. The three women were so shocked that they thought they were hallucinating. However, in the next second, they realized that it wasn't a hallucination. They heard Qin Feng's voice in their heads. You're tuning in to the Dreamy Chapters YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support. And don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.